This sport is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Padres dropped game 2 against the Phillies last night. They'll be back today. At 110, Christopher Sanchez will be on the mound for the Phillies, who has thrown 37 straight scoreless innings, going up against Walker Buehler, who will be going for the Pods. Again, that game is at 110. In the NBA last night, Spurs get beat down by Oklahoma City. Game 6 will be back in San Antonio tomorrow night as the Spurs and Wemby look to stay alive. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
And let's get it going on a Wednesday. What's happening, everybody? Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. Sammy will keep the party rolling after that from 2 to 3, going along with Sammy. Schaefer and Sliwa will be your afternoon drive home. All right, my name, Ben Fletcher. That is Sammy Long. We got you for the next couple of hours. Thank you for being here. If it's your first time ever joining us, head on over to the free iHeartRadio app. Tap that little plus button, add us to your presets, so we will be at the top of the page every time you turn on the app. It is San Diego Sports 760. We're talking some Padres today. We got some excellent ticket giveaways today, and we will be talking some NFL offseason because we have video of quarterback battles throughout the NFL. We have news spiraling out of control that teams are freeing up cap space. Who might they be going for? I don't know. And yes, Sammy, Patrick Mahomes is on the field with the Chiefs at OTAs today.
Yeah, you know he's back. I told you that bad man was going to be ready for week 1.
So congratulations to Sammy. Justin Herbert also making an appearance at OTAs today, saying he's a day late because he was supporting Madison Beer while she was on tour.
So
very,
cute.
very sweet. And your boy Travis Kelce's buying an ownership stake in the Cleveland Guardians. How about it? Busy offseason for those Chiefs.
Yeah, busy offseason, a lot going on.
Can we stay locked in on football one time, Kansas City? Like one time? Can you just focus on what's on the field? Because it was a pretty rough year last year for those Chiefs.
No, I'm not going to get into you with the Niners this early in the show because let me show you something. So we're show prepping. I'm like, we'll talk some Padres, some NFL stories, NBA, and Fletch goes, bro, did you see what's happening? It's like, no, what?
Did you?
He's like, the Niners are clearing cap space.
Most cap space in the NFL right now. $72 million.
What are they doing? Are they going to get Myles Garrett?
I think so.
This dude's playing, fantasy franchise Madden with the Niners before the show an hour before. So that was Fletch's big time show prep.
I mean, you tell me. They've cleared up around $35 million worth of cap space so far this year. It seems like they're doing something, right? And they're projected to be 35 mil over the cap next year. So 35 of this year would carry over into next year, but that leaves you some room.
Are they looking to upgrade the quarterback position?
I don't think so, Sammy. No, I don't think. I think they're pretty happy with what they got. All right. We will start the show today with some Padres. We'll get back to the NFL in just a little bit. But last night, pretty prime example of what's been going on, isn't it? Last night, Randy Vasquez didn't have his best stuff. Gave up a lot of hard hits. In fact, he would get 2 outs in every inning and then just give up another home run. But there was 3 home runs given up by Randy Vasquez yesterday. JT Realmuto, Bryce Harper, after the Padres gave a dig at him on the Jumbotron about how he brushes his teeth. And then Trey Turner breaks out of an 0-for-18 slump to hit a home run off of Randy Vasquez. I'm telling you, minimum could have been 3 more home runs for the Phillies yesterday because Schwarber hit 2 all the way to the wall in right field. And then was it Souza who hit the one that Jackson Merrill ended up robbing out in center field? So there was 3 home runs given up by Randy Vasquez. Easily could have been 6. But again, how many times do we have to have the conversation? I'm not putting much blame on the pitchers at this point. I'm putting the blame on the offense. And to his credit, Manny Machado hit a home run yesterday. That gives me the warm and fuzzies. But also to his determinant, Manny Machado hit a swinging bunt ground ball that everyone in Major League Baseball not named Manny Machado would have beat out to first base in an inning where the Padres were gaining a little bit of momentum and you thought they might be able to storm back in this game. So it's a lot of little column A, little column B for Manny Machado's game yesterday. But just kind of another frustrating performance where you felt like the offense could have done more yesterday. And when they finally get to a point where it looks like the dam is about to break, Manny Machado can't beat out a ground ball. And his speed is a serious question. Is he the slowest player in baseball? He might actually be at this point. But I don't know, Sammy, your thoughts on last night's Padres game?
Well, this is why they have the record they have against good teams in the NL. Because when you face, it's one thing Like they have, I believe, one of the highest scoring run totals in the 9th inning in the entire MLB.
I think it is the highest.
Yeah, they're up there because they're waiting. They cannot hit starting pitching, and against bad teams, you can wait to get to their bullpen because they don't have reliable closers. But when you face the Dodgers, who didn't have Edwin Diaz for the series, but have had Kyle Hurt, have had one of the best bullpens in baseball. In fact, the best bullpen in baseball over the last month of the season. You face the Phillies with Johan Duran, who is a tremendous closer. I know the Padres got to Uribe in Milwaukee in game 2, but Uribe is a good closer. And the Cubs, I guess, would be that one NL team that lacks some big time closer. But you can't just wait because when you step up in competition, these teams have big time arms coming out of the bullpen. And the Padres have a lackluster offense. It's just it's crazy that we're sitting here with the Phillies scoring 4 runs. The Phillies have scored 7 runs over the first 2 games. I think if you would have told people that before the series at Petco Park, you go, oh, the Padres have a real opportunity here to steal a couple games. Right. And yet the offense is so putrid from these guys, and they're from the big 3. And I know Machado hit the home run last night. That's great. You know, we had some comments post-game talking about how they can't sustain this winning percentage if the big 3 aren't going to hit. Jackson Merrill's a whole nother story, at least offensively. And we've talked about ad nauseum Fernando Tatis and his lack of power hitting it over the wall. So it's just, it's disappointing. You're seeing where this team is. This team can beat bad teams. They can beat okay teams. They are not on the level. If we're comparing them to what they're going to have to do to get to a World Series, which is go through the Brewers, go through the Dodgers, the Phillies, the Cubs, all these elite teams in the NL, including the Phillies, they are clearly not on that level, and they have shown that to this point in the regular season.
To be fair, I think the Cubs are now up to a 10-game losing streak, so maybe we take them out of the conversation momentarily, but we expect them to be there by the time the postseason rolls around.
Exactly.
But the Braves might be the right question for that, which the Braves are coming up on the schedule in like a month. That's the thing with where the Padres are at right now. It doesn't get much easier here moving forward. I think they've been very fortunate with the schedule they've gotten so far this season, and maybe that plays a part in why they have the record that they have, which is fantastic. And it does feel weird every day complaining about a team that's now 8 games over 500. But now you go on the road for the Nationals, and say today doesn't go the Padres' way and the Phillies get a sweep, or even if the Padres win, well, you're back in Philadelphia right after this series against the Nationals coming up. So things get tougher, and I know the text line went after me a little bit yesterday after I talked about the fact that Aaron Nola is a pretty good pitcher facing against the Padres. They were like, really? Aaron Nola has a 6-something ERA. Yeah, but Aaron Nola's got stuff, and the Padres can't hit starting pitchers. And last night, I think he was perfect through 4 innings against the Padres. So tricky, yes. Very difficult, sure. But this Padres team should be better than they are right now, and I think everyone admits it. I liked seeing that from Manny last night. I really did.
No, it was cool seeing him take ownership because
he was like, yeah, this isn't sustainable. We're not hitting the baseball.
It's great that AJ Preller has put together a roster of Miguel Andújar's and Gavin Sheets and role players that can step up and take over the mantle for a series or a week on end. But there's a reason why Gavin Sheets and Miguel Andújar and all these guys were free agents. They're not season-long franchise changing hitters. Right. That's what these 3 are supposed to be, and they're just not playing like it right now. And it's tough having the same conversation every day because I don't know what the answer is, because at some point they just have to do it, and they're not doing it. Yeah, Manny hits home runs. His average is horrible. Tatis can't hit for power, and Merrill's a whole different story. So the Padres are a hard watch right now.
Fletch, the Padres are getting less action than your Peloton, just collecting dust. Time to wake it up, boys. Thank you, text line.
They're just reminding you. The text line is just reminding you to use your Peloton.
Still haven't used it once. It's actually it's holding up some laundry right now, which is nice. The text line's also asking if Sammy, are you ready to have a great show?
Yeah, I am ready to have a great show.
How do we do on long shots? We just the one game, right? The Avalanche.
Oh,
because the Avalanche lost.
Yeah, I know. First off, the Colorado Avalanche.
What are we doing?
We're done. President's Trophy winners can't get one game against the Vegas Golden Knights, who got a new head coach 2 months ago.
These lazy scrubs.
Tommy Paul's on right now, but he's playing well in his first set.
That's what I always say about Colorado, man. Just a bunch of lazy hockey players. That's what they are out in Colorado. All right, let's get to the big 3 here of our number 1. We're going to tell you about our giveaways. We have a 4-pack of SD Fair tickets. We also have a pair of tickets to go see Chicago at the SD Fair. We'll tell you about how you win those coming up at 12:15. It includes the iHeartRadio app, so go ahead and download that now. Sammy, let's get to the big 3 of our number 1. Go ahead, smash.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big 3.
Text line also reminding us how good James Wood and CJ Abrams and the Nationals have been over the last couple of weeks. So get
It's
ready.
not-
That's next.
when you can't when you can't score, any series is a tough series because you don't put any team away at all times and you stress your pitching staff to a different extent.
Yeah, it's look, they're in for a rough stretch here. If the offense can't turn it around, this is going to be a bad couple of weeks. Sammy, where are we heading?
All right, let's head to the NBA. So the Oklahoma City Thunder put a beat down
Wemby.
on the San Antonio Spurs.
Poor little Wemby. He was roughed up last night.
Why are you making that? Why are you doing that for Wemby?
Poor little Wemby was a little baby on the court last night.
So Wemby did have a bad game, 20 points, 4 of 15 from the field, 0 of 5 from 3. Also got a warning from the NBA because he did not speak to the media after the game. A, is this series over? And number 2, was Wemby the biggest reason why they lost last night?
I would really like for this series to go to a game 7. So I'm going to say it's not over, but I do think OKC is going to win the series now. Look, I don't think they figured anything out against Wembanyama last night. I just think he had a bad game. And I think maybe the pressure got to him a little bit. He did not look like the same guy who was stepping up 10 feet behind the 3-point line, knocking down shots with 25 seconds left in overtime to tie a game. That dude had swagger. That dude you could see moving forward in the NBA and becoming like bigger than just the San Antonio Spurs. The guy who was playing last night looked like a young guy playing in a first huge game in the NBA postseason, and he got his ass kicked. And OKC was the more physical team last night. They were the team that looked like they'd been there before, and quite frankly, that's why they're going to win this series. I hope San Antonio can take game 6 at home. I really do. But I feel like OKC will be representing the West in the finals.
Well, the Wemby did not have a good game, and they found a way to limit him in a way. Isaiah Hartenstein deserves a lot of credit for how he played in that, because in this series, in the last couple series, Hartenstein has almost become unplayable with the offense. They've been trying to go a little small ball with Chet at the center spot. But so Wemby did not have a good game. But De'Aaron Fox, you're the veteran on this team. You're the one guy who's been in the playoffs before with the Sacramento Kings. 9 points, 0 of 4 from 3. Devin Vassell missed some key corner threes when they made the run there in the third and fourth quarter. He went 2 of 9 from 3. Keldon Johnson did have a good game off the bench with 15, but they didn't really have the counterparts working for the Spurs, and that's kind of why people gave the Spurs such a good chance in the series, that they could match 1 through 15, 1 through 10 with Oklahoma City. And you got to give Dagnall credit for putting Jared McCain in the starting lineup, because that was a big decision, and he showed out.
Poor little Wemby was scared of the media post-game.
In the second half. I thought you said you were a Spurs fan.
I'm a Victor Wembanyama fan, but I'm going to call soft when I see soft, and last night was soft.
Yeah, I didn't like him not speaking to the media. All right, we're heading to the NFL. The Chargers, Derwin James inks a 3-year, $75.6 million contract extension. Big money. Was it smart for the Chargers to pay him toward the top of the market?
I think he kind of had to. Derwin James is still one of the best in football, in my opinion. Yeah, he's been injury prone. Yeah, he had a couple years with Brandon Staley where he didn't look like nearly the same guy. I'm going to put more of that on Brandon Staley. Derwin James last year, great season. Derwin James still athletically one of the top dudes in all of the NFL. And Derwin James' superpower is that from the safety position, he can guard some of the big tight ends. Think about who they play in a conference with. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Las Vegas Raiders, 2 of the best pass-catching tight ends in the NFL. That's sort of Derwin James' superpower, is he can drop down and play slot coverage on some of these tight ends that are really just glorified wide receivers. So I like the move by the Chargers. It kind of feels like it's out of necessity. I don't know how much longer he has in his tank. Is he 30? Is he 29, 30 years old? Like, Derwin James is getting up there. He's a veteran. But if this works out for them, I don't think they'll regret this whatsoever.
He's 29 years old. Look, they had to do it in the sense of you lose a mentor. And the last thing you probably wanted to do, because Jesse Minter, going to the Baltimore Ravens, head coach now, covered up a lot. And to be fair, Jesse Minter, the Chargers have a solid defense, but he developed a lot of these players. The Chargers don't really have all-stars everywhere in the sense of, yeah, Khalil Mack is still valuable, but he's getting up there in age. Developed Tuli Pelotu, and now you got Akeem Messidor coming from Miami. I think toward the end of this deal, we'll look at this as a little bit of an overpay. That is a good point about Travis Kelce and Brock Bowers being in the division, and Derwin James can take a tight end out of it. He's actually given Travis Kelce the most fits probably of any safety he's ever played against, because you can just stick him on him the entire game. But with Mike McDaniel, new defensive coordinator who hasn't been there before, it makes sense to sign your big-time safety. But I don't know if at the end of this deal, this is necessarily, considering his injury history, the best move.
Let's squeeze one more in here.
All right,
Semi?
Josh Jacobs. We're headed to picked up on charges of domestic violence running back for the Green Bay Packers. He was released today. No charges have been drawn, but they could always come later per his lawyers. What would it mean for the Packers if he misses the season or is suspended for a significant chunk of time?
I have a feeling this may not impact this season, but may impact next season, just the way things have gone in the NFL as of late. If any of this is true, this is a horrifying, terrible story. If you want to hear what his lawyers are having to say, there's a tweet up by Ian Rappaport right now saying all of this is completely untrue. There was 5 charges against him yesterday when he got arrested and taken to jail and held without bond, by the way. And then all of a sudden this morning, he's out of jail. And according to his lawyers, there have been no formal charges filed against Josh Jacobs. If he has to miss any time, I have a feeling it'll be next year. But yet, this is huge for the Green Bay Packers. He's a massive part of their offense. When you're talking about guys who made up like 60% of a team's offense a year ago, he was one of them. Josh Jacobs is as big a part of the Green Bay Packers offense as Jordan Love is. And if he's not there, this is a shakeup at the top of the NFC a little bit.
Well, it puts a lot of pressure, on LaFleur and Jordan Love, because Josh Jacobs has bailed them out a lot. It's hard to assess for me personally, Jordan Love, because he got paid like a big-time quarterback. He had the huge performance that he basically got paid off of when he lit the Cowboys up in Jerry's world in that game, then played pretty well against the Niners in the divisional round despite losing. But they've been the 7th seed each of the last 3 postseasons, so they've never really been cracking toward the top of the NFC in terms of winning the division. It's been the Lions division and then the Bears. You could argue with Jordan Love. He's never had a number 1 receiver because Christian Watson was supposed to be that guy. He got hurt a little bit. You had Romeo Doubs, who's now gone, Jaden Reed. It's a bunch of number 2 receivers that's added to a good receiving core, but he hasn't had a number 1 dominant guy. I think that's played into it, but if you don't have Josh Jacobs, I think you have to go look for a receiver via trade, and it puts all the pressure on Jordan Love to really run the offense because without Jacobs there, he doesn't have a safety net.
I saw the deep dive on the backup situation for Green Bay's running backs too, and Marshawn Lloyd is there. Marshawn Lloyd has been injured his entire career, and he's never really even been playing. So it's not a great system behind Josh Jacobs. They were relying on him to be a lot this year. And the other thing with the Jordan Love era of the Packers as opposed to the Aaron Rodgers era of the Packers, think about who Aaron Rodgers was going up against the entire time in the NFC North. Like the
Lions were terrible.
The Lions had no offensive line and a really good quarterback and a good wide receiver. The Bears were not what the Bears are right now.
Bears
we talk
awful.
about the Bears being a potential like NFC championship team this year. And so I think that Jordan Love is kind of stacked up against it a little bit. And another disappointing year, man. LaFleur, hot seat. I can see it.
Yeah, I can see LaFleur being the hot seat.
Same. All right, let's do some NBA on the other side. We'll get back to the Padres in just a little bit. We're also going to tell you how to win those San Diego County Fair tickets coming up next. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760 and iHeartRadio present the 2026 iHeartRadio Music Festival, the biggest music event of the year. Legendary performances from the biggest names in music and once-in-a-lifetime collaborations. We're going to announce the complete lineup for this year's show and let you know how you could win tickets before they go on sale. Everything you need to know happens next Tuesday morning at 8 a.m., another once-in-a-lifetime music event from iHeartRadio and San Diego Sports 760. Sammy's working on picking the lineup right now. I tell you what. And he just keeps saying, more Kid Cudi, please.
More Kid Cudi?
Yeah, you love Kid Cudi. Sammy just walks around the building going,
no, Kid Cudi is not what I would choose to headline.
More Kid Cudi, please. We need him. But
it would be like
his rock stuff from later in his career.
If Fletch put together the lineup, it would be people in Alabama would love it. Love it.
A lot of Morgan Wallen, a lot of Ella Langley. Yeah,
I think we could assemble a pretty good lineup because we have such different music tastes.
It's like Sammy can handle the rap and the like kind of 80s through 90s grunge, except no Pearl Jam.
Yeah, Pearl Jam's overrated. We know this.
Yeah, we could do a pretty good one. I would take care of the country lineup. All right, text line is active. 858 saying, Fletch, can I borrow your Peloton until you man up and decide to use it? 913.
858 just looking out for you and your health.
913 says, I have two Bowflex C6 bikes that are collecting dust. Also, the struggle is real. 703 says, my Nats are looking fire right now. Talking about the Nationals. That's up next for the Padres. They are looking good, man. It's kind of crazy. Like the Padres sort of built that lineup, but the Nationals are looking very good. 913, this is a bit of a deep cut, but here we go. The way the Padres are playing right now, Team Kogo could beat them. Lineup, Veronica leads off, Brett Burkhart second, John Fink with his power hitting third, and the big cleanup batter, Cliff Albert. They would at least power two first inning home runs off of the Padres.
Cliff would definitely be hitting cleanup. Cliff would be the star of the team.
Oh, that's a wild text, but you know, the way the Padres are playing right now, I can see it. By the way, Google images of all those people right now. John Fink is a 7'3" giant who in a batter's box, I think he would take up the entire thing. Cliff Albert.
Are you talking smack about our Kogo?
I love our Kogo team. I've worked with them for like a decade now. I love them to death. Cliff Albert might be 78, maybe older.
Yeah, but he's got that power though in his bat.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Veronica and Brett. Veronica's vegan, so I don't know how that's gonna work.
So you're saying we have a lot of vegans at the station.
Lots
Veronica, John Schaefer,
John Fink.
John Fink's a vegan.
Cat Fisher.
What?
A lot of them. John Fink is 9 feet tall and he doesn't.
Do people understand that they're not getting their protein intake in? We're not a lot of weightlifters here at iHeart San Diego.
No, but in this room we pump iron, bruh. That's what we do. I'm at the gym every day before work, after work. I don't stop lifting.
In fact, my guy Mookie at the gym who listens to the show
asked out of breath saying all that.
Asked where you were at today. Was like, where's Fletch at? Why is Fletch out with you at the gym? I was like, I don't know. I tried to get him to come and he won't.
He's doing something called working. I start work at 5 a.m.
You could be hitting curls in between those song breaks.
Sure. All right. It's San Diego Sports 760. Last night, I do think that Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs may have lost the season, which is okay. I didn't think the Spurs were necessarily ready to go this year. I think they've overperformed. I really do. And I think Victor Wembanyama has taken the next step in what he will eventually become. Very, very disappointed in his not only game from last night, but the way he handled everything after the game. I just thought that was the first sign of like weakness we've seen from Victor Wembanyama all year long. And I do think it was an MVP caliber season. And it's been a little bit of a coming out party for him this postseason. That was weak from him last night. And it was weak the way he played. It was the way he avoided the media. And Wemby, this is, if you want to be that next guy, these are not the type of things that get you there.
Well, and to that end, every player, especially in the NBA, we always anoint the next guy. Like when Anthony Edwards went on his first run of the Western Conference Finals, and I'm a big Anthony Edwards fan, but the Jordan comparisons got out of hand. I mean, everyone was like, this is the next Michael Jordan. It's like, no. But before we start comparing guys to GOATs, like let's have them win ring after ring after ring, and then we get there. Wemby has been hearing all postseason, and it very well could be true. He has the ability to reach those kind of heights, those MJ, LeBron, those kind of heights, because if he's a freak athlete that can shoot the ball in the mold of a Kevin Durant, but really is a big. And last night was the first night that you could see Dagnall and that staff really got after him. And he forgot that he's a big first. Like he started stepping out from the 3 line, trying to prove that he was a knockdown shooter. And they always say that with LeBron. Like LeBron can hit threes throughout his career, but if teams are giving LeBron threes, that's a win for them over letting him drive to the basket, because LeBron going to the basket, you're not stopping that. Wemby around the basket, there's very few guys in the league that can stop that. So it did feel like the first night last night that he wasn't, getting universally appraised, and was the reason why they lost.
And I hope this is kind of a speed bump in what will be a great NBA career. And I think that the future is bright for Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs. Like, look what they have around him too. De'Aaron Fox hasn't been healthy for a lot of this postseason. Hell, I don't think Stephon Castle's healthy for a lot of this postseason. He's just playing at an unreal clip. Dylan Harper, same thing. So I think that the future for the San Antonio Spurs is very, very bright. Right now, this needs to be a speed bump and then get everyone's head right for next year, the year after that, because right now they are the best contenders to OKC. Sammy, do me a favor. I know we're watching Roland Garros. Can you flip over to MLB Network, because something special is happening? And I don't want to say the something special that's happening, but I know MLB Network just went into live coverage. So I would like to try to catch the tail end of that if it is.
Are we trying to turn off Roland Garros right now?
I'm trying to not be a jinx, but I love to see it when something special happens in baseball that can only happen in baseball, and it looks like it's about to happen. So I would like to hopefully catch the end of it. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. We are going to switch over to some Padres talk on the other side and get you ready for this game, today's game against the Philadelphia Phillies, and the weeks to come for the Padres, which get a little bit trickier. Plus, San Diego Fair tickets coming up next. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport's sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Padres looking to avoid the 3-game sweep from the Philadelphia Phillies. That game is going in about 40 minutes. Christopher Sanchez will be on the mound for the Phils, while the Padres will be going with Walker Buehler. And then tonight in the NHL, The Hurricanes taking on the Canadians. Game 4. Carolina has won the last 2 games in overtime. That game will be at 5:00. Carolina is a -148 road favorite in Montreal. Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
America is turning 250 years old, and San Diego Sports 760 is celebrating with $250,000 in cash. Starting on Monday, listen for your chance to win $2,500 so you can take the ultimate American getaway and visit the state, city, landmarks, and national parks that make our country so amazing. Win your share of 250 grand. Just listen for the keyword, then enter it at sportssd.com. That is beginning on Monday at 8 a.m. Sammy, you're giving away $250,000 in cash?
Of course, dude.
Look at you celebrating the big 250. I like it a lot. Starting Monday, 8 a.m. You can win your share of $250,000. All right. Text line, little catch up. Tommy Paul 3-0 is looking good on point. Sammy.
Yes. 858. Roland Garros picks been money so far.
858 also different 858 says, healthy or not, no one's going to overcome the Thunder when the refs are missing obvious goaltending and refusing to honor challenge requests. NBA is a joke, man. That goaltending was about as bad as it gets last night. Now, from my point of view, it is really tough when on TV we get the replay from behind the backboard almost immediately of how obvious it was. I do think that puts the officials in a bit of a tough spot. The foul calling, while I thought it was better last night, is kind of out of control with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I don't know what the fix is for it. I really don't. It just seems like the way that they play offense, it allows for more fouls to be called than most teams in the NBA. But I don't necessarily put last night on the Thunder being that much better than the Spurs. I think the Spurs kind of beat themselves last night, which was the most disappointing part.
Yeah, they turned the ball over so much. Supporting cast didn't help out. And look, I'm not a Thunder fan.
SGA didn't have a great game last night by any stretch of the imagination.
Right, he got to go in the second half, but he was not good in the first half, especially in that first quarter when it was close. It's a tough conversation because some people discredit everything the Thunder's done because of foul calls and the flopping, the foul baiting, whatever you want to say it. Foul merchant SGA. That's not fair. SGA is a great player. They're a very solid basketball team that are just deeper and more talented than everybody else. Now, two things can be true. We can congratulate the Thunder for what they're able to do while also being frustrated with the fact that they do throw on the floor a lot. Shea throws his body wildly. Chet Holmgren does the same thing. And it's really on these refs to call it out because that's been people have criticized the NBA regular season for not calling it out, and usually it gets called out in the playoffs. I do think the fact of where the game is played, like Stephon Castle criticized post game, saying that the refs aren't letting them match the physicality that the Thunder are bringing. If that game's in San Antonio, they're not allowing that. I'm not saying they're like rigging it or they're going with the home team, but when the home crowd, they're human beings. Like it's gonna affect you. It's like a boxing match with judging. When the hometown fighter, everyone's rooting for it. Every time they land a glancing shot, the crowd's going nuts. It's easy to play into scoring, thinking that they're winning the fight. I think that plays into a lot in the NBA, especially when it comes to foul calls in these home arenas.
Sure. All right. Padres get going in just a little bit here. We'll get you the lineup and whatnot in just a second. I did want to mention we have a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. We also have a pair of tickets to see Chicago at the San Diego County Fair, which also gets you admission into the fair. If you would like to win those, we got to do it by the talkback mic today. So open up the free iHeartRadio app. While you're listening to San Diego Sports 760, you'll see a little red microphone icon on the screen. You tap that button, you can leave us up to 30 seconds. Today's question, very, very simple for the talkback mic. San Diego is such a melting pot. We got people from everywhere who live here, who listen here. We want to know, who is your NFL team and what is your favorite player of all time on that team? We'll get those in. We'll have some fun with those. And one of you will be winning either a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair or a pair of tickets to go see Chicago. We're doing Chicago first, and we'll give those away before this hour is over. All right, Sammy, Padres today against the Philadelphia Phillies, trying to get one away from them as this long homestand comes to an end. For the Padres today, it's going to be Walker Buehler on the mound facing off with Christopher Sanchez for the Philadelphia Phillies. Sanchez has been good this year. He's 5-2, 1.62 ERA. Heading into this game against San Diego, where it seems like the Phillies in the first inning are just able to get home runs at will, whether it's Schwarber, whether it's Harper. We'll see what happens today, but not exactly a favorable matchup for the Padres on the mound. We'll see if the bats can get going today against a really good starting pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Right. I mean, this guy might want a Cy Young. Christopher Sanchez.
Yeah, he's on fire.
Unbelievable. 37 scoreless innings, 37.2 scoreless innings straight. So not exactly the guy you want to be trying to get your bats right against. But
at least the Padres are really good against starting pitching, right?
Yeah, they're great.
That's when they're at their best.
I mean, I guess if you look at it as an opportunity for the Padres to salvage a series somewhat when they face elite level pitching, they haven't won. Now, I guess I take that back. They beat Yoshinobu Yamamoto, but that was really in part due to the Padres pitching staff being excellent with Michael King in the bullpen. That wasn't about, I mean, they had the one home run off Yoshinobu Yamamoto, but
right. And I feel like the names they beat were big names a year ago. Like Brian Wu, they beat earlier this year. Brian Wu hasn't had nearly the season this year that he had last year.
Ranger Suarez,
Logan Webb.
Right. So now it's easier said than done. Again, Tarek Skubal, they lost. Paul Skeens, they lost. Shohei Ohtani, they lost. Christopher Sanchez is in that mold of a pitcher that is extremely unhittable. And you're looking at a Phillies team that's really hot right now. The Padres have to give, like, a great bullpen doesn't mean anything if you never have a lead and also never have a substantial lead. The whole point of the building of this Padres team is that the stars can get you enough runs. The starting pitching may be at least iffy, at least right now with Pivetta and Musgrove out, and you're going to hand it to this bullpen that's just nails. But it doesn't matter when you're constantly having the conversation with Stammen. Do you use this bullpen? Is the game close enough? Like, how are you deploying this? And it's really up to the bats. So they get a prime opportunity today. Not a lot of faith in them, if I'm being 100% honest, but hopefully they prove us wrong.
Well, the good news for Padres fans, Fernando Tatis Jr. has some ownage over Christopher Sanchez throughout his career. Fernando, 5 of 11 with a home run, 2 RBIs off of Christopher Sanchez throughout his career. Maybe he can translate that to something today. Miguel Andujar, also really good against Christopher Sanchez over his career with a 667 batting average. The rest of the Padres are kind of scattered results, but we'll see. Maybe Fernando Tatis Jr., maybe this is the day against one of the best pitchers in the National League. Tatis steps up to the plate.
Are you going to bet those odds?
No. He's leading off. Maybe today is the day that Fernando gets his first home run of the season. He hit one yesterday that went into the gap a little bit in left center field.
Yeah.
It was caught and it wasn't hit all that hard, but he hit one close. He's getting there.
Like, I heard this narrative a little bit on social media about, Tatis's average is going up.
It is.
Like,
that's fair.
It's fair, but you don't pay Tatis to be a decent leadoff hitter with no power.
His average is also going up by hitting like kind of bloopers to right field and beating out infield ground balls. Like, it's not going up because he's hitting gappers. He's right. 6 doubles on the season. Like, that's putrid.
Right. So, like, I give him credit for trying to work out of this slump and try to get on base. But, I mean, if you just wanted a guy who had no power who was going to put it in the ball and play, why did they let go of Luis Ariz? I mean, Luis Ariz having a phenomenal season right now with the San Francisco Giants. So, like, Tatis, it's great that the average is going up, but right, the doubles aren't there. The home runs certainly aren't there. Neither are the triples. So it's about, you pay him. The $340 million contract is about being a franchise-defining player, and he has certainly been anything but this year.
Did I jinx the no-hitter by trying to not
Dustin
jinx
May
the no-hitter?
got 2 hits on the in the 8th inning.
Oh, that is so disappointing. I really thought that we were doing something nice there by not saying Dustin May is throwing a no-hitter through 7 innings, and then I jinxed it anyways, and it's gone. So better luck next time, Dustin. But yeah, gave up 2 hits in the 8th, and now Cardinals have the Brewers on the ropes. And is Dustin May coming out of the game? I think that's what I just saw. So he's not even going to get the complete game out of it either. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. Get those talkbacks in. We're giving away Chicago tickets. They're performing at the San Diego County Fair this year. If you want to get your talkback in, who's your NFL team? Who's your favorite player all time from that team? I'll get us started. San Francisco 49ers. Give me Jerry Rice. I can also be argued with Patrick Willis, maybe even a little Frank Gore. But I'm going to say Jerry Rice. Fair? Sammy, favorite Chiefs player of all time?
Kansas City Chiefs and Jamal Charles.
Good pull. He's fun to watch.
Jamal Charles was man.
Jamal was saying Patrick Mahomes.
Well, I love Patrick, but
how many Super Bowls did Jamal Charles get?
I think to be fair to Jamal had Matt Castle and Tyler Thigpen playing alongside him.
Sure. And to be fair to my guys, Patrick Willis and Frank Gore, that was it, man. It was like Patrick Willis had some dudes on the defense. Frank Gore played in an era of Niners football where there was no offense. It was just Frank Gore, which is why he's one of my favorite ever, because that dude was Mr. Consistent. All right, quick break here. We got long shots on the other side. We are asking for your talkbacks. Who's your NFL team? Who's your favorite player from that team all time? If you leave us one, you're in the running to win some tickets to the San Diego County Fair. Long shots, almost last night, definitely tonight. Sammy, that's coming up next on the iHeartRadio app. $858 texting in saying, I'm absolutely baffled that Fletch didn't say Brock Purdy considering he never saw Rice play in a SF jersey. Absolutely, unequivocally false. Jerry Rice's final year with the 49ers was the year 2000. It was a terrible Niners team. I believe they were 6-10. That was the Steve Marucci era, but I did watch Jerry Rice play in a Niners jersey. In fact, my first Niners game was his final season as a San Francisco 49er. So check your facts, 858. 858 also asking about a meme that we can't really read about on air, but it is very
very funny
to what the Padres have been doing so far this year. Talkbacks are starting to roll in. We're going to crown one of you a winner of the first pair of tickets we have to give away today, and that's for Chicago performing at the San Diego County Fair. We'll play that talkback after we get to long shots here, where Sammy puts together a daily lineup for us to trade in California.
We're trading on it. We're not gambling. Think about how great. Shout out to our lawyers.
Sure.
They're like, oh, you can't gamble? Okay.
We're going to invest.
We're going to invest
So it's a combination of sorts that would be reminiscent of a parlay, but we're going to combo it. And we'll do that right now. Sammy, go ahead, smash.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money and you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance.
Say that man his money.
With long shots.
All right, no NBA tonight for the first time in a while. Do we have hockey tonight?
You have some hockey tonight.
I don't.
Guess what? This is a hockey and tennis segment. Get ready, San Diego. All right.
Hockey was the only thing that screwed us up last night, right? The overhit in the NBA game. Your tennis pick worked.
Yeah, Tommy Paul 3-0'd him. Unfortunately, I should have bet the Vegas Golden Knights. I went away from Vegas. I thought that with Nathan McKinnon back, they wouldn't get swept, but I should have known. President's Trophy winners historically do not win the Stanley Cup. That is
you always say that.
All right, we're heading to some tennis. Leonard Tien. Now, we actually got a text yesterday about asking about Tien's run. He is quickly climbing up the ranks in terms of American tennis players. So we always talk about, Taylor Fritz supposed to be that next guy. He actually got beat in the first round. Ben Shelton, you got Francis Tiafoe, Tommy Paul's making a run. But it's been a long time since Americans have dominated tennis on the male side. The women's side has had a lot of winners over the years, Coco Gauff and obviously Serena and Venus. But the men's side, it's been about 20 years since Roddick. I do like Tien, though. He's taking on Diaz Acosta from Argentina, up-and-coming player. But Tien has been fantastic. His play on clay has been tremendous recently. He's on a heater. He's a sleeper to make a run in this tournament. He is a minus 3-1 favorite. It's not a lot of money in that. But I do like Tien to win 3-0, plus 152 against Acosta. Tien has had some rest in the last couple matches, so plus 152. I like Leonard Tien to get it done against Acosta. All right, let's head to one of my favorite tennis players, Francis Tiafoe.
The big foe.
The big foe. My dog's name is Roscoe, just like Ben named his dog after Brock Purdy. I call him the big Sco, the big foe.
The big foe.
That's a little insider trading.
Francis Tiafoe probably should have been playing NFL, but you know what? He's a superstar on the courts.
You get the big foe. He's got the chain. Dude, Francis Tiafoe has swag that not a lot of tennis players simply have.
More money, longer career. He made the right choice.
Exactly. Francis Tiafoe taking on Hubert Hurkacz. Hope I said that right. All right.
Big foe's an underdog. Are we just taking him straight up?
Straight up.
I love it.
Now, Francis Tiafoe is an underdog in this match. Now, Hubert has not had a great start to the season, but has kind of found his form. He's an excellent clay player. If this was on grass, Francis Tiafoe would be the favorite. He's more of a power hitter than Hubert, but people like the form that he's been in recently. He got after Spirizzi in 4 sets, but Tiafoe does lead the head-to-head 4-3. Tiafoe got a lot of rest in his last match, made quick work of his last opponent. I like Francis Tiafoe. Despite it being on clay, he's had a very good season so far on the tour, did tremendous in Indian Wells, couple of the tournaments building up. He hasn't been able to quite break through since a couple years ago when he went in the U.S. Open, kind of made a name for himself when he won a couple rounds. He probably wasn't supposed to. I got a feeling this is Francis's year to make a little bit of a run, especially with Carlos Alcaraz, one of his very good friends, not playing in this tournament. There really is a wide open to become number 2 in this tournament. Jannik Sinner is a heavy favorite, 3-1 to even win the whole thing. But outside of that, Djokovic won today, but was in a tough battle. Alexander Zverev is playing right now. There's a big opening, especially with Taylor Fritz and some of these guys out. I do think my guy Francis Tiafoe is going to make a little bit of a run. So grab him on the plus money against Hubert. All right, let's head to the ice. NHL, Montreal taking on Carolina. Now, brutal beat for the Canadiens. The Canadiens go in, get game 1, drop 4 goals on Frederik Andersen in the first period of game 1, which is pretty crazy because they gave up, I believe, 4 goals in the entire series, each in the last two rounds for Carolina. Carolina was able to win in overtime each of the last 2 nights, or each of the last 2 games. Carolina is the season team. Montreal is one of the youngest teams left in the field. One of their veterans is actually Philip Deneau. Came over from the LA Kings at a trade deadline acquisition because they're so young. Cole Caulfield, one of the tremendous young players in NHL. Nick Suzuki. This Montreal team is going to be good for a lot of years. And the last time a Canadian team won the Stanley Cup was actually 1993. It's been a long time. I do think we're going all plus money today. I think Montreal gets this game plus 124. They've been so close in games 2 and 3. Carolina's veteran presence has helped them, especially when it got to OT. And Montreal had a lot of opportunities in that game 3 overtime, was not able to capitalize. Carolina made it pay. They've been one of the best teams in hockey all year. I do think, though, Montreal on home ice wins this game, sends it back to Carolina 2-2. They played too good a hockey for it not to be that way. This is really their last chance, because if they lose tonight, they're going to lose game 5 in Carolina. So I like Montreal on the money line plus 124. I like Francis Tiafoe plus money on the money line. That's at 3:30 in the morning, and Leonard Tien at 2 a.m. is going to win in straight sets 3-0. That's plus 152.
So we're waking up in the middle of the night to watch some tennis.
Yeah, maybe
every young boy's dream. Sammy, can you pull up the talkback mic if you can real quick? Because we got a bunch of them coming in. Here's one of my favorite parts about living in San Diego is that we literally have every one of the 32 NFL teams represented. And so far coming in on the talkback mic, and we'll play a few of them here, we have not had a single repeat of what their favorite team is. We're not just getting all Chargers fans. We're not getting all Niners fans or Chiefs fans or whatever. Everyone is different so far, and there's some great names coming in on this list as well. Sammy, we got a couple we could play.
Hey, guys. My favorite NFL team is the Raiders, and favorite player of all time, Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson.
So explosive. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Great pull. I think that's Steve Hartman's favorite player, any sport all time as well. Bo Jackson is one of the GOATs, man. Talk about a 2-sport athlete that could literally do it all. Untouchable on the football field and excellent on the baseball field as well. Let's play another one.
This is from Jamar.
What up, fellas? Born and raised in San Diego, but lifelong Steelers fan, so you already know who this is. Favorite player was AB prior to the CTE. Dude was just crazy electric. Toe tap Tony, and a tie between him and Troy Polamalu. I mean, jumping over the line, just everything that dude was doing, crazy, just instincts.
All right, so that was Antonio Brown, Santonio Holmes, and Troy Polamalu. You got 3 favorite players.
I love it. The little rhyme there. He said AB before the CTE.
It's fair. AB before CTE was one of the best players I've ever seen play football. That dude was unreal. Let's get another couple in here, Sammy.
Yo, what's up, boys? Hail to the Commanders. Hail to the Redskins. We got Sean Taylor. Rest in peace. My favorite Redskin of all time.
One of the best
Love
ever.
you guys.
Sean Taylor was unreal, man, and that's a good pull. And way to use the old name of the team. You know what? we'll take it.
Listen, I was about to dump it, then I was like, you know what? It was a factual name of a team.
Sean Taylor didn't play for the Commanders. He didn't. So yeah, I get it. If we got one more, we can squeeze in here before
from Marcos.
Hey, Fletch and Sammy. This is Marcos from PB. I had Charger season tickets for 17 years, and they were my team, but they're gone. So they're no longer my team. So my team now is the Bears. That's where I was born. And my favorite player of all time was Walter Payton, because he is the GOAT of running backs. Thanks, guys. You guys have an awesome show. Bye. Go Pods.
Go Pods.
Thank you, Marcos.
Is Walter Payton the GOAT of running backs? Think he's the best running back ever?
I mean, it's hard to argue. Listen, I would go Barry, but that's not a crazy
Barry might
take.
have something to say about that. I think Emmett might have something to say about that.
Here's the problem why Emmett never gets talked about is he had the best offensive line.
Sure.
He had Irv. He had Aikman. I mean, that offense was stacked. So Barry Sanders and Walter Payton were dealing with a lot less. I mean, Walter Payton was that entire offense.
I mean, Bo Jackson had one, or not Bo Jackson. Who's OJ? OJ had one of the best seasons of all time. The Buffalo Bills. Unreal. Marshall Faulk had some seasons that were absolutely insane. Eric Dickerson. I think there's a lot to pick from in the running backs pool.
Yeah, but all great players. The only player I think you can put over Walter Payton, I would put Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders had an awful offensive line with the Lions. And just, you talk about just like watching old highlights.
Sure.
Unreal.
I mean, Roger Craig fits in that mold too, of watching old highlights, what he could do before anyone was really taking the running back's position on the outside. And that was him. And that's all he did. I always wonder, like, if you were to put Saquon Barkley in 1970s NFL, what does he do? You know what I mean?
What, you think he'd be bad or good?
I think he'd be amazing. There was no one close to his athleticism in the 1970s. Or you put Derrick Henry and you put him on the field back then.
That's
like,
the thing,
he would blow the entire team apart. Like, it wouldn't even be close.
Well, like, guys today are just more muscular. Like Derrick Henry would literally.
Who's tackling him?
Who's
in
tackling Derrick
1975?
Henry and with the glued on helmets in 1968?
Is there a group of 5 people in 1975 who could tackle one Derrick Henry?
No.
I don't think there was.
No. Who's the best running back you've seen in the last 20 years? Because I would say Le'Veon Bell at his peak was one of the most unstoppable running backs I ever saw.
How about one season, David Johnson with the Arizona Cardinals?
Oh, yeah.
For one season. One season. But and that wasn't even really running back. He was just catching little swing passes on the outside and then making everybody miss.
Yeah. David Johnson's crap. I forgot about David
DeMarco
Johnson.
Murray, one season.
Before,
or what? He was with the Cowboys and then went to the Titans. And it was the 1 year with the Titans where he was absolutely unreal, untouchable. Might have been on roids. But yeah, there's been a lot of one season guys for running backs. I mean, Christian McCaffrey might be the most consistent over the last
McCaffrey. I mean, you could,
years.
if you're talking about one season, you could argue Ezekiel Elliott with the Cowboys.
Sure. Also with the best offensive line in football. That helped a lot at the time.
I would probably go Le'Veon. Le'Veon changed the way we viewed running backs in the run to the line, stop, be patient, and then go. Like no running back did that before Le'Veon Bell.
And then he kind of screwed himself. He took 1 year off because he wanted to get paid more, and he was never the same guy. All right, going by the random number generator I just pulled up. It's whatever came in. It's the one that came in at 12:45, 13 seconds long. Which I'm not sure exactly who that is. Let me pull up the name. Scott M.
Scott's winning tickets
for Chicago. Congratulations, Scott. Thank you for interacting with this show, man. We'll keep the rest of you in play for the 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. Keep getting your talkbacks in. Just open up the free iHeartRadio app, tap the little red microphone icon, and you could win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. We're asking who's your NFL team, favorite player all time from that team. San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. Hour 2 next.
The sports sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Padres are going here in about 10 minutes. Christopher Sanchez be on the mound for the Phillies. He has thrown 37 consecutive scoreless innings for them. And Walker Buehler will be making the start for the Padres. They look to avoid the sweep in the NBA last night. The Spurs get beat down by the Oklahoma City Thunder, 127-114. Wemby was held to 4-15 from the field in 20 points. Game 6 will be Thursday night, 5:30. San Antonio is a 3.5-point favorite at home as they look to stay alive against the Thunder. And then the NHL tonight, we got a Game 4, Montreal playing host to Carolina. Carolina won the last 2 games in overtime. That game will be at 5 o'clock. Montreal are home underdogs. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
I'm Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long.
I'm excited about it. It brings a lot of people together.
Now, live from the East Set Studios of San Diego Sports 760, we go in the zone with Fletch and Sammy.
It's hour number 2 here on San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. Sammy will keep the party rolling then from 2 to 3, going along with Sammy. Schaefer and Sleewell will be your drive home. I just saw the big Slee walking by. He's in a little early today. Always good to see Alan.
Slee's in here at 1 o'clock.
Maybe we should grab him and bring him in here and make him tell us why Victor Wembanyama played like such crap last night. I was really disappointed in that, if I'm being honest. Like, I wanted this series to go 7 the whole time. I thought the Spurs might have a chance to win it. Right now, I'm at, like, the series is going to go 7. OKC is going to win it on their home court in Game 7, I'm pretty sure. We'll talk about that in a little bit once the Padres game gets going. We're going to stick with this NFL topic because this is fun. You know what? Shout us out on the talkback mic. Give us your favorite NFL team and your favorite player from that team of all time. You're in the runnings to win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. Text line's fired up, 858, saying LT is the best running back of the last 20 years. Hard to argue with that. I could agree with that.
Yeah.
Definitely the best single season of the last 20 years.
Yes, LT last 20 years. I'm with that.
858 also saying if LT played back in the 70s, he'd easily have a 3,000-yard season with 40 to 50 touchdowns. Just like if Sammy was born in the 50s, he'd be the #1 NBA player.
Yeah.
And Barry Sanders would be a backup in today's NFL.
Okay.
Whoa.
First off, Barry Sanders would not be the greatest running back of all time would not be a backup in today's NFL.
If he's the greatest running back of all time, I think that's up for debate.
Stop saying 49ers.
What? I said 149. I said Roger Craig, who revolutionized.
And then you mentioned Christian McCaffrey. So
as the last 20 years,
you've hit a limit for San Francisco 49er references.
For the last 20 years, Christian McCaffrey isn't one of the best running backs in the NFL.
He is. I'm just saying there's other people that play the position.
Thank you.
Come on. I mean, Barry Sanders had one of the worst offensive lines per a good running back there's ever been. The Detroit Lions. I mean, this is what he was dealing with. And was still
Barry Sanders was the king of just bouncing off tackles.
Right, you couldn't tackle him.
Right. Go low, he'd miss you high. If you went high, he'd just spin around you. Barry Sanders was a legit legend. LT was too, though. LaDainian Tomlinson, especially when he had that offensive line with Big Mac and Hardwick and Mike Goff, like he was untouchable back in the day. And one of the best seasons we've ever seen from the position for sure. And if he played in the 70s, no one's tackling LaDainian Tomlinson, that's for sure. All right, Padres will wrap things up against the Phillies here today. It's been a rough go of things. They got shut out in Game 1. Game 2, credit Manny Machado for hitting a home run, but the 3 homers given up by Randy Vasquez and probably the 3 others that could have been given up by Randy Vasquez, it was just too much to overcome. And that's the unfortunate part about this Padres team right now is we look at them and I see a 4-0 lead go up on the Padres. And unless it's in just the 9th inning, I don't think they're overcoming that 4-0 lead. Like, I don't think they have the bats currently or the power or the hitters with runners in scoring position to overcome anything like that, a 4-0 lead. So if today gets off to a similar start, I got a bad feeling about it. The Padres are dog today too, right? Phillies were pretty heavy favorites with Christopher on the mound.
It makes me laugh how the broadcast right now on the TV is showing that the Padres have one of the best fielding percentages in Major League Baseball and fewest errors. Like what? Like,
I mean, that's better than talking about they have the best promotions in Major League Baseball. Like Star Wars weekend was lit.
Dude, it's like, guys, let's be honest about the team right now.
They're good. Like they have a very good record.
Yeah, but just okay.
That's it.
Yes. We're past the point with the Padres of oh, it's cool that they're relevant.
But you like understand my predicament. It's hard for me to kill a team that is 8 games over 500.
Right. But it's like in NFL. You made this comparison yesterday. It's like an NFL team that starts out 3-0, but they're beating terrible teams.
Or they win by 1 possession.
And you're like, is this going to last? The Chiefs were a prime example of this. Chiefs went 11-0 the year before in 1-score games. Everyone said they were due for regression, and guess what they were? They were due for regression because they went 1-8, 1-9 in those games last year. The Padres have a good team, but the problem is we have the same conversation every day about when are the stars going to start hitting, because no one believes. I guess no one. I want to speak for everyone. I find it very hard to believe that Gavin Sheets and Miguel Andujar can be the best hitters on a World Series contending team, because that's what I'm holding them to in terms of a standard. That's why we're hard on the team, because if we were just about, hey, the Padres are relevant, then the Padres are doing a phenomenal job. But if we're holding the team to a standard of how are you going to beat the Dodgers, how are we going to beat the Phillies, how are we going to beat the Brewers and get to a World Series, they're not playing at a clip right now that's good enough to do that. So that's where I'm at when I'm critical of the team.
It's totally fair. And I think that for the majority of the part, like we've been pretty hand in step with all of this Padres stuff this season. And I feel similarly. It's just I say these things about the Padres, then I look down and see 31-23 record. I would have signed up for that immediately in the preseason this year. But the fact of the matter is, it's just the way they're getting there doesn't feel like it's going to last. Today, Christopher Sanchez has been one of the best pitchers in the National League all year long, going up against Walker Buehler for the Padres, who's been up and down for the Padres. That's the nicest way you can say it. He has been getting better as the season goes on. Maybe today is one of those Walker Buehler games where he catches the Phillies flat-footed. But if our friend, I believe it's an 858 number, Sammy, who always tells us to take no run first inning, that does not apply to the Philadelphia Phillies. Someone's hitting home run in the first inning pretty much every game for them. But 31-23, I don't understand the 16-15 home record, by the way. The Padres have been far worse at home this year than they have been on the road. And it just doesn't make sense considering how full Petco Park's been.
Edgar says we have terrible takes for being honest about the team.
Thank you, Edgar. Appreciate
Edgar,
you listening.
Appreciate you, brother.
Drop us a talk back, Edgar. Love to hear what you think.
Yeah, love to hear why we're terrible. Because frankly, we're just reporting the facts on the team. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Padres and the Big Three go out here and mash Christopher Sanchez, and we're talking about them hitting an elite level pitcher. But until that actually happens, we're going to be honest about the team and speak honestly about it, because a lot of people simply just don't.
Yeah. But yeah, please do jump on, Edgar, and hit us up on the Talkback mic. Open up the free iHeartRadio app, tap the little microphone icon, leave us a message. You got up to 30 seconds. Let us know your thoughts. Love to hear from you. It is San Diego Sports 760. We do have a 4-pack of tickets for the San Diego County Fair tickets. We're asking you your favorite NFL team all time with your favorite NFL player from that team all time. And you got to win them on the Talkback mic. What I was just saying, we have a bunch of these in. We'll play them throughout the show today. We were kind of waiting for the Padres' first pitch to pivot fully that direction. Sammy, let's get to the Big Three of hour number 2. Go ahead, smash.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
All right, Sammy, where are we heading? Hour 2. No pressure.
All right, Becky Hammond.
I saw this. Kind of odd.
Some interesting comments. So it was, I believe, in December when it made some comments about the fact that you can't have a small player in the NBA be the best player on your team and win a championship. So it was a direct shot at Jalen Brunson. He said, if your star player is below 6'2", you can't win a championship. Then she followed up with it and said, I speak from experience. Allen Iverson got an MVP and he lost in the finals. I think the 2 best teams are probably in the West, but I'm up for being proven wrong. That's the other thing. I think Jalen Brunson's a hell of a player. I'm speaking historically on the NBA with what I said. I don't know why everybody's so stuck on that. I said it 2 years ago, but then said, prove me wrong. Can Jalen Brunson and a player under 6'2" be the best player on a championship winning team?
I think that the odds are stacked against him winning the championship. It has nothing to do with his height. It has everything to do with the fact that the 2 teams out of the West, I think, are just better than the Knicks at this point. Jalen Brunson can absolutely be the centerpiece of a team that wins the NBA Finals. I think they are live dogs in the NBA Finals. I really do. And I think Jalen Brunson's the main reason because of it. I look at what Steph Curry did with the Golden State Warriors. I understand there was a year where Kevin Durant came over and was probably the best player on the team. He was never the most important player on the team. That was always Steph Curry. Jalen Brunson might be one of the best players in the NBA right now. He's had the best playoffs of anybody in the NBA this year. He is dominating everyone. And so until I see otherwise, why can't Jalen Brunson be the leader of a team that goes and wins an NBA championship?
Yeah, I think the
It's a weird take.
It's a weird take. Look, I know what she's saying. She's trying to say that you have to have a two-way player in the mold, because basically what she's saying is that players under 6'2" historically can't play great defense because not always, but you're typically undersized. So you're already, unless you're a defensive specialist, guys are going to be just taller than you or able to work over you. The Allen Iverson comparison, Allen Iverson was one of the best players in the NBA. He ran up against a Laker team that was way better than them. And by the way, Iverson dropped 50 in one of those games and was the one team to beat the Lakers on that title run. You're dealing with Kobe, Shaq, Rick Fox. That team was unbelievable. That was an all-time NBA team. I think Jalen Brunson certainly can win the finals. Yes, everything you said, they will be a dog, whether it's the Spurs or Oklahoma City. But if they don't win the finals, I'm with you. I don't think it's going to be because Jalen Brunson had a bad series. I think it's going to be because, Karl Anthony Towns didn't step up, whether it was Chet Holmgren or Wemby, or the supporting cast, OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges didn't have the same thing. Like, Jalen Brunson is showing you, if the Mavs still had Jalen Brunson and Luka Doncic, they would be one of the best teams in the Western Conference year in and year out. So I don't love this take from Becky Hammon.
Who next?
All right, let's go to the NFL. Per Jeff Zrebick, Lamar Jackson said he wants to keep his contract discussions, quote, private. Lamar said he still envisions himself being in Baltimore long term. This comes after he showed up to OTAs. There's been some whispers in the offseason, new coach in tow. Are they the last contract negotiation with Lamar Jackson played out was very publicly in the media. Lamar does not have an agent. He reps himself. Would you give Lamar Jackson a second long-term contract if you're the Baltimore Ravens?
Is he still playing like an MVP? Then absolutely. Lamar Jackson is the Baltimore Ravens at this point. Lamar Jackson, for some reason, and I've never fully understood this, I think gets talked about the way like a Joe Burrow would be talked about when he's such a vastly different player. Lamar Jackson doesn't have as good of an arm as Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert. Lamar Jackson is a cheat code, a la Michael Vick, except I think he's better than Michael Vick, and that might piss some people off. I don't really care. Lamar Jackson is good enough to get the Ravens a Super Bowl. It's just all the stars will have to align in the postseason, and it hasn't so far yet for him. So Lamar Jackson at this point is the best thing the Ravens have had since 2006, Joe Flacco. Roll with Lamar Jackson. He absolutely deserves another contract.
Yeah, and I think the narrative around Lamar that, he's going to get hurt. Like, that was the narrative throughout his whole career, especially with running quarterbacks.
He's had one big injury?
Injury. And look, I get he kind of was in and out of the lineup last year, but last year, if I'm the Ravens, I'm throwing out. I mean, you had your entire defense, Nate Wiggins, Matabike, Kyle Hamilton. Everyone forgets in that Steeler game where they were trying to get in the playoffs. He got hurt. Lamar was in and out of the lineup. Rashad Bateman, they had so many injuries. They got decimated, the entire roster, by it. So I would pay Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson does a pretty good job typically also of not getting hit and running out of bounds. Lamar's a fantastic player. I don't even know what the pivot is. Look, if you're going in a different direction, I thought the whole point of getting Minter was that you're going to have him run the defense and you're going to let Lamar control the offense. I think a lot of the Ravens' offensive struggles over the years at times has not been due to Lamar, whether it's been due to Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator, whoever's been calling the plays. Because when Lamar's on, there's very few players as electric as him in the entire league.
Who next?
All right, so per Jake Fisher, this is just great news. The Oklahoma City Thunder looking to potentially trade into the top 5 of the NBA draft to select either Cam Boozer or Caleb Wilson. Boozer out of Duke, Caleb Wilson out of North Carolina. If you were the Oklahoma City Thunder, regardless of what happens in this series or in the NBA Finals, Jalen Williams has been out for a large portion of these playoffs and the season. Is there a thought to going star hunting with Giannis and packaging some of your stars, or to trading Jalen Williams in like Chet Holmgren and redoing these picks and trying to start young alongside SGA with a Caleb Wilson, with a Cam Boozer, with a guy like that?
OKC has seemed to be ahead of the curve of a lot of us in the NBA over the last 10 years. They've done about as good a job from a front office standpoint as anybody. But can I throw this out there? Can the rest of the league please collude against them not getting a top 5 pick next year?
Well, that's way.
Please. Can all the other teams come together and say, hey, we're not going to help them get another top talent in a young guy who's under control for a while? Some collusion needs to be happening here. All right, we're out of time, Sammy. Let's get your thoughts on the other side. By the way, there's a little YouTube watch party going on right now. We're watching the game too. You can let us know about it. We'll talk to you about it. But we're going to kind of stick to some other stuff here as the hour progresses. 4-pack of tickets for San Diego County Fair still on the line. Let us know your favorite NFL team, your favorite player all time from that team on the talkback mic. We'll give out a winner at the end of the show today. But there is some off-season news tumbling in the NFL. Let's get to some of it on the other side. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. The U.S. men's national soccer team playing the first of its final 2 tune-up matches for the World Cup when they take on Senegal in Charlotte, North Carolina. You can hear that game this Sunday at 12:15 exclusively here on San Diego Sports 760. Sammy, I saw the initial reaction to Team USA's roster that they put forward for this year's World Cup, and it was kind of a mixed bag. A lot of people saying Pochettino took a lot of big risks that he didn't necessarily need to take. Is there any follow-up to that, or are people generally happy with the roster?
Well, I think what we're going to see, Tessman was a midfielder, the Taylor Tessman, that was really making a name for himself on the kind of build up to the World Cup.
He's been hurt, hasn't he?
Yeah, but then left off the roster. And then the other big one is Diego Luna. Diego Luna has kind of been, especially with he's really grown an opportunity ever since the kind of controversy. Remember when like Landon Donovan and Alexi Lawless and guys were going at Pulisic, the Tyler Adams, all these guys for not playing in some of these like prelim matches. Kind of, it was that big controversy of like, it's an honor to get to play for your country. And a lot of guys were using it as time off, especially because the U.S. automatically qualified because it's on home soil. But Diego Luna was left off. He was kind of one of the big strikers while Pulisic and Balogun were off playing overseas. So we'll see. Pochettino's gonna if the big critique for America, at least the last few World Cups, is the lack of scoring. They finally have Balogun who's a traditional striker, and they moved Pulisic to the wing because he's more of a wing player. They were playing him at the striker spot before. So if they don't score a lot of goals, he's gonna get crushed because you didn't bring Diego Luna. If Balogun and Pulisic and these guys can hold it down, and you added some depth in the back, he'll look like a genius. But we'll see, man. It's gonna be a fun World Cup.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited to learn how to bet soccer.
Soccer's on it. You know what's great about betting soccer is because there's the ability of a tie.
Right. In fact, common.
So everything is typically, unless someone's a massive favorite, plus money because you bet through stoppage time.
Okay.
So I'm getting all locked in for long shots. Trust me. We're gonna be getting some Senegal and Uganda, just money line plays.
Alan coming down the escalator at the casino in The Hangover with all the math equations going on in his head.
Exactly.
Can't wait for that. All right, we got a couple talkbacks we can play here. We're asking you favorite NFL team, favorite player all time from that team for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair, which is coming up in June, from June 10th through July 5th, closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. Sammy, let's hear a couple of these.
See if you're in Arizona, and it would be Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers, baby. And it's got to be the A train, number 40, Big Mike Allstott.
Mike Allstott with the Madden cover at one point in his career. One of the most ferocious fullbacks. I don't even think he was a running back technically, was he?
Okay, that's a good one right there. I like that.
Dude was a legend. We got one more we could play here.
We got a few more right here.
Perfect.
This is Marcos, not from PB. My favorite football team is the New Orleans Who Dat Saints. And my favorite player is the GOAT, Drew Brees. My second favorite being Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush didn't even have that good of a pro career.
He was good for a minute.
He had a couple seasons where he was pretty good. But that dude in college, untouchable.
Reggie Bush, I will argue to this day, is the greatest college football player that ever played.
Greatest college running back, I could see. Player, you got to go to the swamp. I think Tim Tebow was the best college football player. You could argue Vince Young too, by the way. Neither of them had good pro careers, but
Vince Young. Well, the greatest football game ever was the Texas SC.
For sure.
When Young lost the Heisman to Reggie, he comes back.
Where's that Heisman now?
Reggie got it back.
Oh, that's right. He did.
Yeah, that was BS. That was first crazy. Off, he just bought his mama house. Everyone buys their mama house now with the $4 million NIL deals they get.
Right. I would also argue Joe Burrow maybe had the best college season of all time.
Yes.
That year with LSU.
Joe Burrow, I'm curious how we'll look back at it because that team might have been one of the greatest teams ever assembled. But Burrow gets docked a little bit. He's thrown at Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson.
Coach O, leading the LSU Tigers.
Dude. Lane Kiffin with Coach O now at LSU.
It's a great move to bring him in. I know people were kind of hating on it. I don't know why.
Coach O at USC, the dirty secret was Pete Carroll got all the credit. Coach O was the one that once he got in the room, they were going to SC. It was just not. He was the greatest recruiter there was.
I don't know if I've ever said this on air. I know I've said it to Sammy before, and take this. I love Brady Hoke. I know Brady Hoke a little bit. I love that man, and I think he is a great football mind. Coach O is what Michigan wanted Brady Hoke to be when they hired Brady Hoke to Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
And then Coach O became that dude. And it's funny that they kind of look alike, but he is one of the best minds that's ever stepped foot on a college football field.
Well, and it's so because
he just has a funny voice.
Well, this is
why
he likes
to take pictures with hot girls.
Because you're a coach in college football and then the NFL and the NFL vice versa. It doesn't always work because the NFL, you're not worried about having to recruit players to want to come play for you. It's the NFL. There's only a limited number of spots. You're going to take your ticket. Whereas some guys are great at recruiting, but then when it's look at Urban Meyer. Like you're not telling 33-year-old Miles Jack with a family and kids.
Urban Meyer was also kicking people on his team.
Right. Like
literally.
to go run lines. Like that's not happening.
It's fun though. Keep those coming in, man. I'm having a lot of fun with this. Free iHeartRadio app. Hit the talk back mic. Leave us your favorite NFL team with your favorite player. We're what? 20 deep of these, Sammy? I don't know if we've gotten a repeat yet. There was another one for the Chargers who said Junior Seau, which was a good, like, honestly, if you're going to pick a Charger.
We got another one just popped in here.
Hit it.
From Eric.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. This is Eric from Lakeside. I am a San Diego, I repeat, San Diego Chargers fan. And by far my favorite player was Junior Seau. That guy played with heart and energy like nobody's business, and a great community representative. Have a great day.
An incredible San Diegan Junior Seau.
Can't argue with that one, man. Junior Seau is the man.
Rich was fortunate enough Rich Ornberger was a teammate of Junior Seau, one of his final years with the New England Patriots, and said he was one of his favorite people he's ever met on a football field.
It's weird that no one said Rich Ornberger.
No one. Not a single person.
Not a single person has said, you know what? Chargers, Patriots, Rich Ornberger.
Look, he does. People forget, like Nick Hardwick got hurt in that playoff game. I think it was against the Bengals, and Rich came in and kind of saved the season there for a second. Like Rich was good.
I know, and I love me some Rich Ornberger. I drafted him in my franchise, my NFL franchise team,
like on Madden.
And he was cut immediately
I mean,
from a 73 overall.
Look, injuries happen to the best of us. All right. But I think people forget what a freaking dog Rich was. And every once in a while you see that flip switch, and it is scary time around Rich. Like you don't take that out of a player. You know what I mean?
We were saying to Rich earlier, it's crazy how huge and jacked he is.
Still. And he claims he doesn't do weights or steroids. I don't know if I believe him on
lie.
either one of those.
He definitely hits some weights.
All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. We'll get back to this playoff series between OKC and San Antonio. We're also going to talk some NFL. We got news flying everywhere right now. Quarterbacks are back. There's a battle going on in Minnesota. There's teams clearing up cap space. What's going to happen over the next few weeks? Let's get to it on the other side. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport's sponsored by Mattress Firm. Phillies and Padres in action right now. Currently bottom of the second. Score is 0-0 as Padres look to avoid the sweep at the hands of the Philadelphia Phillies. Tonight gets going NHL Game 4, Montreal and Carolina getting going. Carolina has won the last 2 games in overtime. Montreal is a plus 124 favorite or underdog to win at home. And the Spurs lost 127 to 114 last night. They'll be back tomorrow night on their home floor for game 6. They're currently 3.5 point favorites in that one. Ready to upgrade to the perfect sleep setup? Let Mattress Firm sleep experts guide you to the perfect bed at the Memorial Day sale. Top brands, ideal comfort, score unbeatable deals on both. Mattress Firm, they make sleep easy.
He's back, and I'm guessing there's going to be a new photo drop to come with it. It's San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. Mike Vrabel at the podium for the first time since the NFL draft.
Said I love my wife.
He did. He said all the right things today. I'm just wondering when TMZ is going to release the next batch of photos because you know it's coming.
TMZ's like, oh, this is just a field day for us.
It has seemed like they've been waiting for anytime someone brings up the situation, there's just a new group of photos coming out. So Mike Vrabel was at the podium earlier today. He was asked about how balancing family and football has unfolded. He said, really good. I appreciate that my family is great. I love Jen. I love the boys. I love my personal friends. Which personal friends are we talking about there, Mike? He was also asked if he might step away from the team in the future because of the offseason drama. He says, I can't tell you anything other than that I'm going to be out there today in full force. So I'm going to focus on today and the excitement that we've had and that we've built so far. So yeah. Mike Vrabel at the podium today, handling everything like a pro. We expected he would. Look,
Drake May going after his mentor, Mike Vrabel.
What did Drake May say?
No, just learning. You know,
is Drake May in the streets?
No, I don't know. I'm not in Drake May's life, but we've heard everything out of Patriots camp is like, oh, we're not distracted whatsoever. We're more locked in than ever.
Of course. And that will be the modus operandum. Look, this is going to be a story, like it or not. I personally kind of hate that we dig into people's personal lives as much as we do. But Mike Vrabel's sort of been caught red-handed, and there's going to be answers.
Sort of.
Definitely has been caught red-handed. And that's the thing. We talk about the NFL as the greatest reality show on earth. Well, this is transformed from being an NFL storyline to a Bravo storyline. And now there's this weird convulsion of fans in the middle who are going to go after this till the day it finally goes away, which is probably going to be never. So like it or not, Mike Vrabel, Diana Rossini is going to be a storyline throughout this entire NFL season, a la Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. That's where we're at. Yeah. It's a love story, baby. Just say yes. Other NFL news. We got video today out of Minnesota. Kyler Murray, JJ McCarthy. The battle is on. So, of course, everybody is going to be who's the guy Colin has on during the NFL season? Greg Cosell. Greg Cosell,
yeah.
Who his whole
NFL
job
films
throughout his entire career has been to break down film. Everybody is Greg Cosell today, looking at Kyler Murray saying, oh, his release point's a little higher than it used to be. Oh, JJ McCarthy looks like he's quickened up his feet a little bit.
This is not a quarterback competition.
I like to think it's not a quarterback competition as well. They are going to tell you it's quarterback competition until Kyler Murray is named the starter, which I imagine he will be. But here's where I could see Minnesota getting a little smart with this one. You're paying Kyler Murray $0, nothing. But what do you think Kyler Murray signing to the Minnesota Vikings did to JJ McCarthy, who was promised the keys to the Minnesota Vikings when he was drafted by them?
Right. It's you better play well or you're done.
Don't you think that might have upped his offseason a little bit? Don't you think that might have brought up the intensity in his life a little bit? And maybe we get a better version of JJ McCarthy this year, who did show one good quarter on primetime last season. What if that becomes the guy moving forward? Maybe there is.
I just personally don't think JJ McCarthy is very good.
I don't either.
He won a national championship, but that was because Michigan had the best defense in the country and it's a couple of the best running backs in the country. And look, they lit up Ohio State, but like he had a big outing. That was really his breakout party. All those touchdown passes, we had 3 or 4, were on play action. Guys were running wide open. It was an excellent scheme from Harbaugh against Ryan Day. So this is my thing. Justin Jefferson has been the good soldier. And we know that receivers typically, AJ Brown, a lot of guys, Tyreek Hill, can be like, get me out of here if I'm not getting my targets. I want to go somewhere. Justin Jefferson has completely earned the right to be requesting out, not wanting to be on this team. He's one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in football when someone's getting the ball. And his numbers took a direct hit last year. So I think if you go to, unless JJ McCarthy is lighting it up in the preseason, lighting it up in camp, and to your point, we see a new JJ McCarthy that we've never seen, unless you want to be getting Addison and Justin Jefferson, these guys requesting out, you got to see what you have in Kyler Murray, because Kyler Murray didn't just come here to sit on the bench. Kyler Murray could have gone to the Jets. Kyler Murray could have tried to stay with the Cardinals and started. I don't think this is a competition at all.
Look, the Arizona Cardinals, don't really get talked about much on the national scene for good reason. They're the Arizona Cardinals, and they haven't been super nationally relevant in a decade since Larry Fitzgerald retired. I'll tell you this. Kyler Murray can be a damn good quarterback, and I've watched him play some amazing football games for the Arizona Cardinals against my San Francisco 49ers. Kyler Murray does not deserve to just be the guy that gets shipped out and the fall guy for the Arizona Cardinals. They got much bigger problems than him. I think he's going to be excellent with the Minnesota Vikings. I really do.
Well, that division gets interesting now because with the Josh Jacobs news, with the potential charges, so the Packers, I'm not high on the Packers anyway.
Well, we both kind of are thinking that the Packers are going to have a down year anyways, and the Lions will be back.
The Lions, you feel like will be back. The Bears have looked like an ascending team, but the Bears were able to play a third or fourth place, I believe a fourth place schedule the year before. So now you're playing a first place schedule. The schedule is much harder, one of the toughest in the NFL. You're probably going to be due for a little bit of regression, even if the team is good. Like the NFC is in a weird place right now because we look at the Rams and go, okay, the Rams are probably the best team in the league on paper. If you went top to bottom roster, I think it's the Rams.
And I think the NFC West last year was the best division in football with their three top teams all getting over 11 wins.
Right.
And this year, at least projection wise, Seahawks didn't get that much worse. Niners should be better considering health. Rams should be as good, if not better, because of the addition of Trent McDuffie.
And you wonder though, with like the Seahawks perspective, I think the Seahawks will be good because I think Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith-Njigba are great. You did lose Kenneth Walker. You lost Tariq Woolen. Like
Zach Charbonnet stepped up in a big way last year.
But he's coming off an injury.
Right, but until that injury, he was better than Kenneth Walker all year.
They did get Price, the running back from Notre Dame, and Clint Kubiak. We'll see how big of a deal Clint Kubiak was for the Seahawks. Like the NFC is just intriguing to me because I don't know if the Bears, I think Washington will be back in the picture with Jaden Daniels. And it just feels pretty wide open because to your point, the Niners should get better just simply if they stay healthy.
Well, the addition of Mike Evans as well. And I think it's underrated drafting of Kalen Black, who I think is going to be fantastic with the Niners.
Yeah, he should be a good player. So you feel like maybe Tampa Bay is that team that's perennially been there that maybe falls off, and maybe there's someone new in the NFC South. I know our Saints fan is gonna mark us.
Tyler Shucks, let's go.
858 says JJ McCarthy has been bunned since college. I'd rather have Uncle Rico throw the ball to Jettas.
Sure. Look, I went a long way to say Kyler Murray's going to get that job, but it is fascinating to see everybody today looking at the film of these two guys throwing like three passes in OTAs, and everyone's saying, "Oh, it's a real competition." Kind of crazy to me. All right, Derwin James setting the bar for safety contracts. We talked about this a little bit earlier. I think the Chargers were kind of up against it with him. He is aging. This is a veteran player now, Derwin James. I know it feels like he just got into the league, but this was he's 30 now. So Derwin James gets the massive contract. Will it pay out for the Chargers? I certainly think so. I think a lot of this comes from the fact you're in the AFC West with two of the better pass catching tight ends in football. Derwin James is kind of a cheat code because of that. He can guard that position better than just about anybody in football still. Now, the question about Derwin James will be his health this year, like it has been for a lot of his career. And it will be whether or not he can keep himself from getting 15-yard penalties, which he's always seemed to get a lot of 15-yard penalties.
Derwin James, if he's on the field with this contract, it will be great.
Sure.
You have Mahomes, Bo Nix, Mendoza projecting to be good, number one overall pick. Like you're going to need a safety back there. The Chargers are playing with some fire though right now in like relying on Khalil Mack, relying on Derwin James, relying on a lot of veteran presences in this team. I think they did a good job remaking the pass rush with Messidor, the pass rusher out of Miami, who probably didn't get as much love as he should have got because Ruben Bain was also getting picked. And then you got Tuli Tuipulotu on the other side. So, well, like, again, kind of like Kubiak for the Seahawks, we'll see how much Minter meant to this defense because the offense should be so much better. And that Mike McDaniel's now the OC and not Greg Roman because he was a disaster, whether it was in Baltimore or in LA. But that division, the AFC West, can be really fun this year.
Don't worry, everybody. We're getting very, very close to the NFL season. OTA is going on now. Pretty much everyone across football has been reporting over the last week or so The mandatory mini camp starts the first couple weeks of June, kind of spread out for a bunch of different teams, but we're getting there. Like Justin Herbert showing up today, Patrick Mahomes showing up today. This is going to be fun here for the next few months. All right, and then finally, if everyone didn't see it, the Niners are loading up on cap space. It's happening. I don't know what exactly is happening, but they now have the most cap space in the entire NFL. So the San Francisco 49ers have around $72 million in free space that they can do whatever they want. They can
for next season.
No, for this year. They're projected to be 35 over the cap next season. So a lot of what they're saying is the way they're getting under the cap right now is because it can roll over. So you're left with around 35 mil to play with this year.
Well, I think your Niners are looking at the way the defense was so good when those guys were out is like Nick Bosa and Fred Warner. You want to keep them, but they are injury prone.
Sure.
Especially in Nick Bosa's case. So
and you just brought back another injury prone guy in Dre Greenlaw to be the kind of bookend with Fred Warner.
Right, but at least he's not making huge money coming back from Denver. So
I'm really curious if this is the year they finally bring in Joey Bosa. It's been teased for a few years. I don't know if I really want that to happen, if I'm being completely honest.
We're going to have to hear about the Bosa brothers every 5 seconds.
The Bosa bros. There's going to be some awesome like Splash Bros stuff to go along with it because Golden State.
It'll be the over-under won't be how many sacks they get. It'll be how many weeks before one of them gets hurt from a serious
injury. Set that over-under at 2.5. I'm telling you. Or could this be for bigger fish? Like the Myles Garrett thing's been talked about for a few years now. Could this be the year where someone makes a move for Myles Garrett? And could that be the Niners? I could see it.
Fantasy GM over here.
I could see it. I mean,
again, if you're going to do that, that means Nick Bosa's gone.
Probably. I'd be okay with it. Myles Garrett doesn't miss time, and he's the freaking GOAT. I
hope that happens because then we're going to get to really see if your boy Purdy is the truth. Because
I know.
There is no excuses whatsoever if Myles Garrett comes to the
play
Niners.
Two different sides of the football, Sammy. There's a little bit of an excuse
that defense will be the best defense in football. So then it's, can your boy get a couple touchdowns?
Can he? I don't know. I think he can. All right, San Diego Sports 760. We will crown our winner on the other side for the San Diego County Fair tickets. We got a 4-pack of them. You still got like 5 minutes to get your talk back in. We're asking who is your NFL team and your favorite player all time from that team. We will play our last couple of them and we will give a winner on the other side. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Pretty big birthday coming up on the 4th of July. America is turning 250, and San Diego Sports 760. We're celebrating with $250,000 in cash. Starting on Monday, listen for your chance to win $2,500 so you can take the ultimate American getaway and visit the states, cities, landmarks, and national parks that make our country amazing. Win your share of $250,000. Just listen for the keyword, then enter it at sportssd.com. That gets going Monday morning at 8 a.m. Sammy, we got to pick a winner for these San Diego County Fair tickets. SDfair.com to buy some tickets.
We have a very good entry. It was a random generator.
I like it.
And this is who is winning tickets to the fair right here.
What up, boys? Andy Drew here. As season ticket holders since 1984, my favorite team is obviously the Indianapolis Colts, with always loving to watch Edgerrin James beat down them defenses back in the day. Love the show, boys. See ya.
Edgerrin James.
Indy Drew won on the randomizer.
Congratulations, Indy Drew. It's going to be fun going to the San Diego County Fair all the way from Indianapolis, but I'm sure you'll make it work out. Indy Drew winning those tickets.
Maybe he's rich and just flies in for games.
For the San Diego County Fair. Once upon a fair, there was a tale of fun, food, friends, family, laughter, tradition, music, amazement, and more. The San Diego County Fair, the biggest and longest running event in San Diego County, making its triumphant return June 10th through July 5th. SDfair.com to plan your happily ever after. Indy Drew is going on us. We'll have another 4-pack tomorrow, so make sure you're listening. Same place, same time, same station. You can find us here on San Diego Sports 760, and you got to win them on the talkback mic.
I heard you had to have an eventful night tonight.
Big plans tonight, Sammy Long.
What's cracking at the Fletcher household?
I found out yesterday that my wife is hosting a watch party for the season reunion for a show called Summer House.
Yeah, little Summer House, little reality TV action.
Which is a bunch of rich kids who summer in the Hamptons. I guess not kids, they're all like 30, but party all summer in the Hamptons and have all sorts of drama. So apparently this year there was a lot of drama. I don't know if you saw any of this, Sammy, but apparently there's a cheating scandal wrapped up in all of this.
Well, of course.
With some dude named Wes and some lady named Amanda.
So wait, Summer House is they all go to a summer house and they live together, but they're all coupled up.
I think you nailed it. I really think you just nailed the hammer on the head or nail on the head.
It's a real big thinker from the producers.
I've never really watched this show. This is a show that's on in my house constantly. My wife watches it while I watch something on my phone. But I do know that there is big time drama, and tonight's the reunion, and I know that Peacock is going with the reunion unedited, so F-bombs will be flying.
Ooh, okay, spicy.
And so there is a group of, I think, 7 teachers coming to my house tonight to watch the Summer House reunion.
Can I please ask one thing of you?
Please.
One thing.
Go ahead.
And I will take full responsibility for this when the reaction comes the other way. I just want you to film, because you got your boys coming too, right?
There's one guy coming, and we're the hosts.
Okay. I need one of you to go, I heard that this show's fake, like reality TV's fake, and just secretly record it and watch all 7 of them
attack us and eye gouge us. They'll do some things that are illegal in the UFC.
We'll play it. We'll play it back on the show tomorrow.
Sure. No, I'm planning on making a nice charcuterie board for the ladies. Okay. I think I'm going to mix up some Cosmos. I'm going to fire up the barbecue, have a little sausage ready to go for tonight.
Damn, you're just world's #1 husband.
I may wear a apron. I got one, so I might wear it tonight. But I'm kind of imagining Paul Rudd in I Love You, Man, where he shows up
where
with
he has no friends
and the edible straws. I don't know. This one got sprung on me last night. I'll be honest, I'm not super stoked about it.
Yeah.
Dude, we're having all sorts of issues. My wife's car is in the shop. We have one vehicle right now. It's a mess.
I thought it was a school night for these ladies.
It is. And they're all going crazy. It's the last couple of weeks of school. Teachers are getting drunk and going nuts. Okay. And they got senioritis out the wazoo. This is going to be a disaster tonight, Sammy. I don't know if I'm going to make it till tomorrow.
What grades do they teach?
Like 1st through 6th. I don't know.
Wow.
1st through 5th. It's an elementary school, so I would imagine 1st through 5th.
When they're nursing those hangovers tomorrow, all those elementary kides are going to be going crazy.
Bill Nye the Science Guy is going to get some run time
Bill
in
Nye.
Lakeside, California tomorrow. I promise you that.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, tonight's going to be just an absolute blast.
Weren't Fridays, though, the best when you got to watch little Bill Nye?
I loved it when you had a teacher who we didn't know at the time was hungover, but was clearly hungover and walked in with sunglasses on and just said, "There's something about dinosaurs on TV. Go ahead and watch it.
Turn it on." Dude, I got us real quick before we get out of here. I got us one time. I tricked my teacher into playing The Office in the episode of Diversity Day.
Wow.
Where they walked around.
Not super PC.
Not very PC for now. I got us to play it. And then my teacher lost her mind. It was like, this is not appropriate for kids. We were all like 14. One of the great days of my high school experience.
I was going to make a joke from that episode, but I was
about to say too, and I was like, I probably can't say that on the radio.
When Pam's talking to Dwight, he says, oh man, am I a woman? Just classic stuff. All right, have fun on the rest of this Wednesday. I think today's Wednesday. Sammy's got you for another hour. Schaefer and Sleewell will be your drive home. By the way, no run first inning. Padres cashed. Congratulations.
Yeah, 858 said it, bro. 858 gives us locks every day.
Right on. Sammy's got you for another hour. I'm out of here. I'll see you tomorrow.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Padres and Phillies are playing game 3 of their series right now down in town at Petco Park. Right now in the bottom of the 4th, we got no score. Speaking of no, there's no NBA playoffs today. The Western Conference Finals are back tomorrow night when you got game 6 between the Spurs and the Thunder. Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. To get in the zone, AutoZone.
Going long with Sammy. That's going to be hot. In depth on the story of the day. Plus, it's warm in the hot seat. Now, it's Sammy Long.
Padres in action early on a Wednesday, currently bottom of the fourth, 0-0. We'll keep you updated on that game throughout the show, but figuring that if you're a massive Padre fan, you're probably watching the game right now. So we're gonna kind of go around the world of sports, but again, keep you updated. Coming up about 15 minutes, we're gonna get into, there is a college football bill that is being proposed by Republicans and Democrats. It's a bipartisan bill that would limit the amount of transfers and make a possible unified television deal. We're going to get to in about 15 minutes. So some very spicy news out of that. We also got a list out of the NFL. NFL.com ranked the top 8 contenders to the Seattle Seahawks not repeating. We're going to break that down, see if we agree with it. We'd love your thoughts on it, of course. And we're going to get to, as Brent pulls up, we're going to get to some sound on Jalen Brunson here in a second. But first, I think we'd start actually with the U.S. men's national team. So the team got announced yesterday. And everyone's excited for the World Cup. You know, if you're not a soccer fan, I've always been a person who I've gotten into STFC the last couple of years, but never really watched the MLS before that in terms of before STFC really had a rooting interest. And the World Cup I was getting into. But so Mauricio Pochettino, who has coached managed at Chelsea and some really big clubs over in Europe, they released their team yesterday, their 26-man roster. And there were some surprising omissions. And this has felt like the World Cup, especially on home soil. Everyone's pointed to this World Cup because the last World Cup, I think people looked at with America and went, listen, they're very talented, but we have Christian Pulisic, Tyler Adams, some of these really, really good young players, but they were young in that 2022 World Cup. And they got out of the group, then they lost to the Netherlands. Had some opportunities actually in that game. Christian Pulisic missed a potential goal opportunity, wide open net right off the jump. And the U.S. went home in the first round of the knockout rounds. So you can't look at it as a success, but it wasn't a bad World Cup for America. But this is supposed to be the year where the U.S. break through, where the U.S. are they going to be, France or Spain or Argentina? No. But being on home soil, you're having an automatic bid. You bring in Mauricio Pochettino, who was a superstar manager in the Premier League, over to the United States. This is a year that I think the expectations are you have to get to the knockout round and win a game or two. I think if they got to the knockout round, won a game or two, people will look at this World Cup run as positive. And so there's been some controversy with the team selection. So they left off a couple of big players. Taylor Testman has been a midfielder for Team USA that has been up and coming. He left off of the roster, which people are kind of have a problem with. And then Diego Luna, the constant problem with this team, with the Team USA over the years has been lack of scoring. They never really had a true striker. That's why people got so excited when Christian Pulisic came to town for Team USA, and that they finally had a star overseas that, you had Clint Dempsey and Landon Donovan guys over the years, but Christian Pulisic was a guy who is a legit star in England. And we haven't usually had too many legit stars over in England, at least on the national soccer scene. So with Pulisic in tow, Balogun could have played, who's going to be the striker for Team USA. He could have played for England in another country as well. Chose to play for America because he probably would have been on the bench for England and is able to be a true striker. But they left off Diego Luna, in favor of them because Pochettino is really putting his job on the line because this is a big World Cup, for, I think, the growth of soccer in America. The World Cup is an opportunity to grow the sport. It's on the world stage. I think a lot of people, including myself, who aren't watching the Premier League, aren't watching soccer night in, night out, get behind Team USA. And the World Cup's it's a fun event. It's fun, the group play and then going to the knockout rounds. It's fun to bet. If you listen to Fletch and I, we love to gamble on it. But it's a big World Cup, especially for the future of American soccer. You finally got a legit manager, Pochettino. He said yesterday, he was on the Today Show in New York. Gio Reyna has been a young star for America, and he never played when Greg Berhalter was the manager. There was this whole odd situation where the Berhalters were friends with Gio Reyna's parents, and then they benched Gio Reyna, and then the Gio Reyna's parents tried to go get him fired. You can look it up on ESPN. It's a whole kind of crazy story that played out in the last World Cup when people were surprised why Gio Reyna wasn't getting opportunity when he was one of the best young players on the team. So it feels like a big World Cup, and that you want to rep well on American soil. And I feel like you have to get through the first round of the knockout. I think if you win a knockout round game, lose in the second round, people will look at it as a young up and coming team. If they lose, I think we're still sitting here soccer is behind football. It's behind basketball in America. It's behind baseball. You could argue it's behind hockey. There's a lot of sports that it's behind of. So all of our best athletes are, playing in the NFL, playing in the NBA, playing in baseball. When if you're in England, basically, if you're small enough and fast enough, you're playing soccer. If you're too big, you're going to box. That's basically what it is. There's less options. So it's a big World Cup. Hopefully the U.S. can, we'll get into that. I'll have some World Cup people on in the next coming weeks here, and hopefully they can make a little bit of a run because with it a few weeks out. All right, let's head to the NBA. Last night, wonderful performance by Oklahoma City. I got to give OKC their props because, look, I'm not a SGA fan by any means, but in fans of the Thunder. But that was impressive. SGA didn't get going in the first and second quarter, got to go in the second half. It shows you the value of great coaching. I mean, Mark Daigneault coached circles around Mitch Johnson last night, and they got after Wemby. Wemby went 4 of 15 from the field, 0 of 5 from 3, did get his 20 points, but people are killing Wemby today. He didn't speak to the media after. I get it. It was one of the first games in this playoffs and in a while where you pointed to Wemby as a reason why they didn't win. I also got to put some blame on the cohorts. I mean, the reason that we gave the Spurs such a good shot against the Oklahoma City Thunder is they have the depth in the bench, in the supporting cast to match up with them. De'Aaron Fox had 9 points last night. Keldon Johnson was nice off the bench with 15. Devin Vassell went 2 of 9 from 3. Like when the Spurs cut that lead in the fourth quarter, Devin Vassell missed a huge corner 3. Keldon Johnson missed a huge corner 3. And De'Aaron Fox was supposed to be the guy that was going to break through because De'Aaron Fox on this team had been there before. He played in Sacramento. Remember when they went 7 games against that Golden State team and they had one of the best offenses in all of basketball with the Sacramento Kings? De'Aaron Fox was a no-show last night. I don't think the series is over. I do think as of right now they win Game 6 and take this thing back to a Game 7 in Oklahoma City. But OKC deserves a lot of credit, man. They find ways to adjust their defensive game plan. They remind me, not to be too dramatic, but a little bit of what Belichick used to do in the NFL. And Mark Daigneault is not Bill Belichick, but Bill Belichick, we remember, would never let your best player beat you. The best player on the other team, when the Chiefs had Tyreek Hill was never going to beat them. He had 1 catch for 42 yards in the AFC Championship game against the New England Patriots. He always found ways to take out your best weapon. So if you were going to beat the New England Patriots, it had to be with the supporting cast. It had to be your number 2, your number 3 target, your tight end, your second string running back. So that's why Belichick usually just coached loops around all these guys. And I think Daigneault did that a little bit to Mitch Johnson last night. He took Wemby away. They made it hard on him. They were collapsing on him. They were forcing Wemby out to play at the 3-point line. He took a lot of threes and was trying to be more of a shooter first. Wemby forgot that he is a star center. That's what he's out there to do. And I got to give Oklahoma City credit. Shea showed up late in that game, and they may not be the most exciting team, at least personally, but they're a damn good team. And it shows you the difference in depth when you have guys like Jared McCain making surprise starts and are able to come through and really perform in that series. But who they'll be facing in the finals. So Jalen Brunson, Becky Hammon, the Las Vegas Aces head coach, had some interesting comment. This goes back years ago, where years ago she had said if the best player on your team is 6'2" or under, you're not winning an NBA championship. This is a direct shot at Jalen Brunson. They asked Becky Hammond the other day about this with Jalen Brunson going to the NBA Finals. This is what she had to say.
You're taking a little bit of grief from what you said about Jalen Brunson.
You are. I'm not big enough.
I never said, hey.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying.
No, I mean, I speak from experience, and I never, Allen Iverson got MVP, and he lost in the finals, and I think the two best teams are probably in the West. But I'm up for being proven wrong. And that's the other thing is I think Jalen Brunson's a hell of a player, hell of a player. I'm speaking historically on the NBA. With what I said, I don't know why that's being brought, like why everybody's so stuck on that. I said it 2 years ago. I stand by it.
You clear the air.
There's no air to be cleared. I said what I said. He proves me wrong. He proves me wrong. I mean, I good for him, but I do think the two best teams are in the West.
And we know who you like, right?
Oh, well, you know who I'm cheering for.
All right, so Becky Hammond with some comments about that. Then it was kind of funny. She's like, I don't know why people care. Well, you made a big statement about Jalen Brunson specifically years ago. I disagree with Becky Hammond. I think 100% a player, size has nothing to do with winning an NBA championship. What she's trying to say, I think, in Texas, 70470, start your message with team or shoot us a call, 877-767-4760, 877-767-4760. Do you agree with Becky Hammond that Jalen Brunson and a player under 6'2" can't win an NBA championship? Or leave us a little talk back on the red microphone on the iHeartRadio app. I disagree. What she's trying to say is that if you don't play defense at a high clip, you're not going to win an NBA championship. This argument has been made about Jalen Brunson. This argument has been made about Luka Doncic. This argument has been made about countless players throughout the NBA that if you are a one-way player, you're not going to be able to win. People make this argument with the Lakers, with Austin Reeves all the time. Not that Austin Reeves on the level of Jalen Brunson or Luka Doncic, but people make the argument of you can't pay Austin Reeves because he's a traffic cone on defense, and you can't win with Luka and Reeves in a backcourt without great defenders. Part of it can be true in that having a player like Anthony Edwards that plays both ends of the floor, Wemby, who's going to be every year in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year, helps. It's a big deal. Jaylen Brown has won an NBA championship, a great offensive and defensive player. But this whole narrative that we hear about, well, guys that are just offensive players can't win. Like, I disagree. Jalen Brunson's going to the NBA Finals. He doesn't play defense simply because of his size. He literally cannot play defense. Luka Doncic went to the NBA Finals a few years ago. By the way, took out this Thunder team one of the first year they had everybody. Nikola Jokic plays no defense whatsoever. He's just a great offensive piece. Is it tricky? Yes. But you have to outfit the team in a certain way, like with Luka. Look what the Mavs did. Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, bigs everywhere, and 3-and-D wing defenders on the side, PJ Washington, guys like that make up for the lack of defense. But like the league is going offense. 30 years ago, I probably agree with you. In the Michael Jordan era and the Larry Bird and Magic Johnson era, I don't think you can win off just playing offense because they allowed you to hit players, they allowed you to mug players, foul players. It's a physical ball game. And today, it is the league is so skewed offensively that I think some of these old narratives of you can't win without an offensive player or a one-way player being the best player on your team is wrong. I mean, if the Knicks lose the NBA Finals, I have a hard time, and we'll see the series, believing it's going to be because of Jalen Brunson. If they lose the NBA Finals, it's going to be because Karl-Anthony Towns doesn't step up against either Chet Holmgren or Victor Wembanyama, or they don't get the kind of production that they need from Mikal Bridges or OG Anunoby, or Landry Shamet is not able to go 11 of 12 from three like he did in this last series against Cleveland. So I make these sweeping statements about guys like Anthony Edwards, not his fault, is a two-way player, hasn't been in the NBA Finals. Now, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that he doesn't have a number 2 star with him, but hasn't won an NBA championship, hasn't even been. I mean, Shea is not a great defender himself. Shea is a great player that if Shea was on ISO on defense, Shea would not be known for defense, but he has Casey Wallace and Lou Dort and Alex Crusoe and Chet Holmgren, who's a good shot blocker, and Isaiah Hartenstein all around him, Jalen Williams, that make up for the lack of defense from Shea. So Shea doesn't get put on islands too often. So I just think that this whole Jalen Brunson, small players, offensively skilled players that don't play defense can't win in the NBA. I think that 30 years ago, that was fair. Today, I don't think so. I think that it is an offensive skewed league. Yes, you have to have a front office that knows what they're doing and can put the pieces around them to succeed. 100% true. But I think it's an overblown narrative, and people like Becky Hammond that's kind of perpetuating it. They're just kind of waiting for the fall. I think Jalen Brunson is going to play well in these NBA finals. All right, coming up next, college football. Interesting bipartisan bill that's being put on the Senate floor, I believe, to potentially change college football in entirety and having massive regulations on it, because basically right now it's free enterprise. Tell you what that is on the other side on Going Long, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760 and iHeartRadio present our 2026 iHeartRadio Music Festival, the biggest music event of the year. Legendary performances from the biggest names in music and once-in-a-lifetime collaborations. We'll announce the complete lineup for this year's show and let you know how you could win tickets before they go on sale. Everything you know happens Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. Another once-in-a-lifetime music event from iHeartRadio and San Diego Sports 760. Brian, we were talking on the break. What you mentioned something about we're talking about Jalen Brunson and Becky Hammon's comments about how small players couldn't win. And what were you saying at the break?
Oh, I was like, I'll tell Steph Curry, he's technically 6'2", and her point was you had to be no player under 6'2". Yeah. But just in terms of that, Steph was 6'2", he won multiple championships. Kyrie Irving, 6'2", he won a championship. Tony Parker, 6'2", won a championship. He wasn't like the star of the team, but Rajon Rondo, yeah, he was under 6'2".
That Celtics team, he was one of the best. Yeah. And she made, if you looked at the kind of expanded comments, she made a point about Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson was one of the best players in the league to watch. Number one. Number two, yes, he lost to the Lakers. That Laker team was unbelievable. Iverson put up 50 when in game one, was the only player and team to even beat the Lakers in any game that series. I mean, Kobe, Shaq, Rick Fox, that team was unbelievable. You're not putting that loss on Allen Iverson.
Yeah, no team where their second best player is Eric Snow is going to beat the Lakers. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. Like you look at, like, there's great players over the years. You know, you mentioned Isaiah Thomas. Like, there's this whole narrative. I think we're so quick to judge like body types, like, oh, it's got to be, you got to look like Mike, like you LeBron has this build, Wemby, and yes, having those size advantages 100% help you, but to write off a good portion of the NBA, like the Mavs screwed up. The Mavs, like, I know they got Cooper Flag, but the Mavs simply got rid of Jalen Brunson because they thought that a small player could not be star and get to the NBA Finals. Well, guess what? They got to the Western Conference Finals with Luka Doncic, and now they're going to watch Jalen Brunson play in the NBA Finals. They got Kyrie Irving. They go to the NBA Finals. They ship Luka out of town. So, right, maybe Cooper Flag, it works for him. He's a great player. 5 years from now, they're hanging banners, but I think it's a mistake that so many front offices really, really key on this. All right, there's an NFL report. So, from NFL.com, there was an article, which NFL teams could dethrone the Super Bowl champion Seahawks, and they ranked the top 8 candidates from Dan Parr, senior editor for draft strategy for the NFL. I thought it an interesting theme. So they had the Chiefs at 8, the Lions at 7, the Broncos at 6, the Niners at 5, the Eagles at 4, the Bills at 3, the Ravens at 2, and the Rams at 1. That list to me means that people are thinking, at least this guy, and it follows along with DraftKings. It follows along with the odds in Vegas, and we do know that Vegas is typically right. Vegas typically knows things, especially with the lines they put and taking bias out of it. What that tells you is that they think last year was a big outlier in the NFL because you had three of those teams miss the playoffs entirely. The Chiefs, the Lions, the Ravens didn't even make it. The Niners makes some sense that they had a lot of regression, or they had a lot of injuries on defense and weren't able to really get through that. The Eagles, a lot of people are picking the Cowboys in that division. People are excited about the Giants, the potential upstart in that. You got Washington, who's getting Jane Daniels back. They're, pretty close in odds to, not to winning a Super Bowl, but towards the top of the list in terms of odds. You got the Rams, of course, who I think have the best roster in the entire NFL as of right now, and then the Ravens and the Bills. So much has been made about, like, we made so much in the playoffs last year of no Lamar, no Burrow, no Mahomes, and then no Lions. A lot of people, if you had told people before the season those 4 teams have missed the playoffs, I think a lot of people would have called you crazy. And then we had this year of the Patriots, and the Seahawks are certainly up there in odds because they lost Kenneth Walker, they lost Clint Kubiak. We'll see how much that affects the offense, but Sam Darnold is a damn good player. Jackson Smith-Njigba is one of the best receivers in the NFL, and they have one of the youngest defenses in the league. But that list right there in terms of Super Bowl odds tell you that you have to have a big time quarterback, Lamar, Mahomes, Allen, all these guys. Like Hurts, I'm gonna throw in there because he won a Super Bowl, played well in both that he's been to, and like the kind of one hit wonders of New England, of Jacksonville to an extent. A lot of people are excited about Jacksonville for this foreseeable future. Houston. I think the Bears are going to be good, but the Bears weren't on that list. Like there's a lot of teams that we had a lot of new faces in the NFL last year. And for a wide variety of reasons, the Ravens were decimated with injuries. The Chiefs had a lot of suspensions as well as injuries. The Niners were killed with injuries. The Lions, it felt like we're adjusting to not having Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson as their coordinators. I think that showed a lot about Dan Campbell last year and the fact that his coordinators covered up a lot. But in the NFL, you have to have big time quarterback. And I would tend to agree with that list. Like I think the AFC is going to be really intriguing because the Chiefs, Bengals, and Ravens, I think, are all going to make the playoffs. At least a couple of them, because the Bengals and Ravens in that division are the two best teams ahead of the Steelers and the Browns. The Bengals have one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. I think the Ravens roster is really loaded for bear. They're getting Kyle Hamilton back. Nate Wiggins is back. Lamar is hopefully going to be healthy for a full year. Like Rashad Bateman, they had a lot of injuries that they dealt with last year. Their front seven was completely decimated with injuries. And the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs, Rashee Rice was spending the first 6 games of the season. Josh Simmons wasn't there for a large portion. Their star left tackle out of Ohio State. They got young on defense. The last time they got young on defense, when they traded away Tyreek Hill, they went to back-to-back Super Bowls. So I think we're going to get back. I think the Lions are going to be hell in that division. We saw a lot of people. The Bears, I think the Bears are going to be good for the foreseeable future, but the Bears played a pretty easy schedule for the first 12, 13 weeks of the season. The Patriots played one of the easiest schedules we've seen in almost 30 years. And that plays a lot into it. If you're a third or fourth place team, you get to play a third or fourth place schedule. I think what this is telling us with Super Bowl odds is going to return to how it's been for the last 5 or 6 years. Not saying it's going to happen, but that's what it's looking like. Like at least that's what Vegas is telling us so far at this point in the offseason. All right, coming up next, college football, massive bill on the Senate floor looking to get a approved bipartisan bill that would change the way college football is handled as a whole. We're going to get into it on the other side. Going long, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by eBay. Padres and Phillies are downtown in Petco Park playing game 3 of their series right now. We are in the top of the 6th inning. We still have no score. The Phillies do have 2 guys on with 1 out. Adrian Morejon is in right now. We have no NBA playoffs today, boo, but we're back tomorrow with game 6 of the Western Conference Finals between the Thunder and Spurs. That will tip off a little bit after 5:30. eBay is home to millions of finds, and each one becomes part of your story, from your favorite vintage band tee to your dream car you've been searching for, or that foul ball you heroically gave away. It's all there on eBay. eBay, things people love.
We got no Padres on tonight and no NBA playoffs. Got a little Canadians and Hurricanes action. So we have to, Brent, we have to talk to our families. We have to
well, I don't, because mine lives far away, but you do.
we have to socialize. We can't just hide behind the fact that we have to watch sports tonight. But let me know if you're on the same boat. 70470. Start your message with team. But so college football, Padres in a good game right now. We'll be reacting to that later as the game finishes up. Brent told you it's 0-0 right now in the 6th inning as the Padres look to stay alive, or at least, not get swept by the Phillies. But so a group of U.S. senators kind of flew under the radar, introduced some sweeping legislation Wednesday that they're hoping that will address some of the things going on with the NCAA. It's called the Protect College Sports Act. So months of negotiation between Republican Ted Cruz and Democrat Maria Cantwell would provide, this per ESPN, provide the NCAA with an antitrust exemption to enforce several rules that have been challenged in courts in recent years. So these rules are as follows: limiting athletes to transferring schools only 1 time without penalty, limiting athlete eligibility to a maximum of 5 years, prohibiting former professional athletes from playing in college. I can't believe they had to write that one in there, but considering the NIL the last few years, they've had to, and prohibiting schools from poaching a coach from another school during their sports season. So that could be known as the Lane Kiffin rule, the Lane Kiffin going to LSU. That is directly why, after all the drama with Ole Miss and leaving in the middle of the season, him not being able to coach when Ole Miss went to the college football playoff, that played a big factor in that. I can't believe, I joke about it, but we have to put in an antitrust prohibiting former professional athletes from playing in college. Who is that Alabama center that was playing in the NBA G League, had played in an NBA game, and then checked in and was dominant? I mean, they're grown men playing, even guys in the G League who are sitting on the ends of NBA benches. Everyone wants to joke. If you drop Bronny James back into college basketball right now, he would dominate. He was averaging 30 points per game in the G League. It is 2 entirely different levels. You wonder how that affects, people going overseas, getting talent from guys who are playing professionally overseas. Brent, do you have that name?
Charles Bediako.
Okay, Bediako. Yeah, the huge center who came in. That was highly publicized news when he checked back into games. I like that, the limiting athlete eligibility to a maximum of 5 years. This kind of got thrown out of whack, obviously, when COVID happened. Once in a generation pandemic. Guys got, and you felt bad because a lot of the athletes got screwed out of their last season or two, so they got the eligibility. But it feels like, now we're talking about guys who are 26, 27 playing college football. You're like, it feels a little excessive to me that we've let it get that out of whack. And then my favorite rule, though, limiting athletes to transferring schools only 1 time without penalty. This is how I think you can walk the fine line of NIL deals. Because what it's been the last couple of years is the NIL guys have been jumping ship. It's okay, I get a big time NIL contract from USC. All right. Then maybe I don't like my playing time. I get an even bigger one at Texas. So I'm going to Texas. Then I'm transferring to Nebraska or Georgia. Guys are transferring every year where it feels like it's like NFL and NBA free agency every season. Every player is available. There is no oversight of this. There's not college football. Like we talk about Major League Baseball and how frustrating it is when, you feel like half the teams aren't even trying to win by paying enough money. You got teams like the Dodgers and the Mets and the Yankees and who are spending money left and right. There's not big time regulation, but at least MLB does have a regulating body. College football and college basketball is just free enterprise basically now. I mean, it went from the coaches in the schools probably having too much power, at least in my opinion, in that these, they're making millions of dollars off these guys' names. They're not getting any of it. The one big story, remember the Jalen Smith, the linebacker from Notre Dame, was going to be a top 5 pick, played in the bowl game, hurt his knee badly, fell to the 3rd round. It was never quite the same with the Cowboys. Like you have things like that where players never got to their NFL contracts, never got their money, and they were big time college stars and kind of left with nothing. So there's too much power. But it's gone to where, college coaches are not only having to go out and recruit in the transfer portal. We've heard, Coach Dutcher talk about the grind of constantly recruiting, going out on the trail mid-season, recruiting, scouting, right when the season ends, recruiting to keep your own players. In college football and college basketball, you never had to recruit to keep your own players. That was never a thing. Like you thought that, okay, well, once you sign the contract to be at the school, you're going to be here for the foreseeable future. And now it's like guys are just leaving left and right. And it feels like it feels like it's completely unregulated. Hopefully we can get some regulation with this bill. Brad, I believe we have some sound from ESPN. Pete Thamel, who covers college football, had this to say on, especially after Kirby Smart mentioned that the SEC could potentially leave college football, basically create its own college football playoff with just SEC teams. This is what Pete Thamel had to say on the state of college football.
A lot of the issues that the SEC, especially Jerry Moorhead, is complaining about has to do with enforcement. He called anarchy the current state right now. And as the College Sports Commission is about a year old, it certainly has been a little bit clunky as it has come on boarded. But what has sort of made people chuckle here in the bar rooms and hallways of these SEC meetings is, the SEC, if you look at its history, has had a difficult time following rules, much like schools in the Big Ten have and the Big 12 have and the ACC have, right? So it just all of a sudden, if the SEC was governing itself, I don't think everyone would be like, oh, we'll follow the rules and we'll do a cap and we won't try to get an injunction to get half our roster to play. I mean, the CSC was a byproduct of the impotence of the NCAA. And now we have early impotence of the CSC. And, if the SEC or the Big Ten or one of these leagues was in charge of themselves, I don't think it would change behavior. What has to happen is there has to be some heft and some discipline that has to come into play here. We just simply have never seen that in college sports. And it doesn't feel like that is just going to come upon us. We'll see if there's any teeth to the CSC as it moves on and it tries to decipher these deals but roster prices keep going up. And that's why the universities, especially at the presidential level, are really feeling the stress.
So, yeah, it's a crazy, the state of college football is what Pete Thamel is saying, is that like Pete Thamel's responding to, again, if you didn't hear it, Kirby Smart, head coach of Georgia, threatening that the SEC would create its own league. This is how crazy it has gotten in college football and college basketball, in that you have the SEC and the Big Ten who have all the power. Now, personally, I don't know where the SEC gets off thinking they have this much power, because the SEC is not what it used to be. This is not the days where Georgia went back to back and Alabama with Nick Saban was winning titles every year and Auburn was relevant with Cam Newton. The Big Ten has won the championship each of the last 3 seasons. You had Indiana, you had Ohio State, you had Michigan. So the SEC is not quite what it once was. Yeah, maybe it's certainly the second best conference behind the Big Ten, but the Big Ten, with those 3 teams not going anywhere, Oregon's going to be there. USC just had the #1 recruiting class. If somehow Notre Dame ever joined the Big Ten, this thing would be wraps. This thing would be not even comparable in terms of talent to the SEC. And it's under this new antitrust that Ted Cruz and a Democratic senator was looking to propose, Maria Cantwell. They were looking at having one television deal for everyone. Now, we've talked about that a lot with the Padres. Padres don't have a television deal, so the Padres can't pay the money that a lot of people do. The Dodgers are printing money on their television deal. I mean, they have a entire country, entire continent that is watching Dodger games from the other side of the world every night because it's the biggest show in town. So television deals have played so much into this. The Pac-12 was looking for a media deal. The new Pac-10 after with all the new teams in there. And if they were able to do this, I don't know how it would work. I mean, you have CBS in there, you have the ESPN who goes with the SEC, CBS with the Big Ten. You know, you've had the CW get into the Mountain West and the Pac-12. If they were able to have a centralized television deal where everyone be in it, it'd be huge for college sports because you would have regulation, you would have a governing body. So it's not Lane Kiffin just deciding to leave in the middle of the night undercover, or teams just players deciding to pick and choose what schools they want to go to, despite signing these massive NIL deals and not sticking to them. I mean, they have not been regulated. Guys have been able to just do whatever they want. If they want to break an NIL deal, they're able to break an NIL deal. And so if this gets us back to a little bit of normalcy in college football and college basketball, I'm all for it. I'm excited for it, especially in this transitional period with the CFB. All right, coming up next, Schaefer and Slee. Padres down 2-0 right now. The Phillies had a big inning in the sixth. We're going to react to that a little bit and then get you ready for their show. A little crossover action. Schaefer and Slee coming up next. Padres down 2-0 right now, 7th inning, trying to avoid the sweep at the hands of the Philadelphia Phillies. Schaefer and Sliwa will be getting full coverage on that coming up next. How you boys doing today?
What up, Sammy?
What is up, Sammy?
Nothing much, man. Rounding this thing out, you know?
You are literally doing that. That's what you're doing right now, man.
Can't freaking watch this team anymore.
No, this has been a tough
They're hard to watch.
Can't watch them.
You'd like to see them do something.
There's
on
no
offense.
freaking threat at any time for this team. And it's just more and more frustrating to watch. I didn't even have time to bitch and complain about yesterday's game.
Not yet. We'll have time for that. I promise.
I think
Thank you.
The most frustrated man must be AJ Preller. Because, like, what does he have to do? Like, he puts together this elite bullpen. He puts together a starting rotation that, although not, like, unbelievable, considering the Musgrove and Pavetta injuries.
Injuries killed them on that.
I think have held up. Like, Walker
look at
Buehler.
Buehler today.
Buehler was
He held up,
fantastic.
yeah.
Randy
Griffin
Vasquez.
Canning was good.
Griffin Canning.
Yes.
Randy Vasquez last week against the Dodgers.
Yep.
You know, he gave up the first pitch shot, but kept them in that game with a lot of runners on base. And this offense is just so putrid to watch.
The problem with their offense is we're supposed to be 3-4 years down the road to have like the thoughts and the feelings that we're having about the offense today. Machado's supposed to be 3-4 years from now where you're like, yeah, this contract's going to be a problem.
Yeah, like if he
Xander's
was 38,
contract.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, this is, obviously going to be a problem the rest of the way.
Completely agree.
Tatis, you're not supposed to have the conversation about, period.
No, Tatis supposed to be
27 freaking years old. And these guys, and, you could try to, this actually is a great indication of if you're trying to rely on Gavin Sheets and you're trying to rely on Ty France and this and that, eventually that well is going to dry up.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think it's spot on. You can't, like, it is time for a conversation about everything related to the offense. Like, nothing is off limits when it comes to the Padres offense right now. They're hitting .218 as a team.
You ever pace when you're watching sports just in complete stress?
I'm a pacer.
Is it possible to have a mic I could walk around and like circle the arena?
Probably. Yeah.
Go talk to the iHeart budget.
Pacing.
But this is what happens though when you can't hit starting pitching, and when you face better teams in the NL who have good closers. You didn't even see the Dodgers with Edwin Diaz, but they had Kyle Hurt, they had Vesia close the game. And then you got Johan Duran, who's one of the best closers in baseball.
Dirty. That dude was dirty yesterday.
I mean, the Brewers have Uribe, who the Padres actually got to in that game too with Gavin Sheets.
The Gavin Sheets 3-run homer.
Yep.
But like Uribe is a good closer. The Cubs would be the outlier there. They haven't really had a great bullpen. It's been about their offense.
But you bring up a good point. They haven't been good against good National League teams, right? And now it's only the first third of the season, but like, it's an indicator. You have to go through good National League teams. This is not a Dodger conversation. It's a National League conversation. And they haven't proven to be as good as the other competitors in the NL so far.
Well, and I heard you guys talking about it yesterday. Like, forget that, like, the Dodgers heating up. They're 3.5 games up. What about the Diamondbacks? Diamondbacks sitting
They
right
won
there.
again yesterday, right?
Yeah, they're destroying the Giants.
8 of, I don't know. I think
9 of
yesterday
11.
when we did the show, they were 8 of 10. So 9 of 11.
And
now.
you're winning this afternoon, right?
Yeah.
Are they winning today?
I believe so. And like, they're going to get Corbin Burns halfway through the season. Like, they're only going to get healthier. The Diamondbacks are a team that are like just going to get better as the season goes on.
Their positioning is that's going to be more of a headache than you don't have to. It's not like anybody was saying before the season started. As long as the Dodgers keep you in a divisional race, we'll have the conversation.
Right.
But nobody coming into the year is like, hey, there's going to be a divisional race. That just hasn't how the NL West has been.
Right. It was more about wild cards, and it was more about Arizona. And to your point, if these scores hold, they might not. Arizona's up 3-2. Padres are down 2-0. If the scores hold, for whatever it's worth, the two teams are tied.
Sammy, we have a much more, I think, important conversation that we'd like to get into.
What's it about?
About a half hour ago, John and I.
Don't give me this. This isn't accurate.
John and I went, and your phone, my phone.
It's your phone.
This is why.
Please silence the phones when you're in a radio studio.
Yeah, it's silence there, buddy.
Just take that call.
So there's a coffee shop across the street that I'd like to go walk to and grab a cup of coffee.
Is this the? I've never been in the one in the middle of it.
No, you got to get over
there.
there.
Good place there.
Yeah.
Good place there. And John and I did not realize they have cornhole. That's just basically in their courtyard area. Nice little courtyard area.
It's like professional cornhole.
Professional.
And I played for like 2 years. So I'm like, I'm cleaning up.
You played for 2 years?
You played for 2 years.
I was about to say, it was like John Schaefer going home early.
We did a best of 5. How do you think it played out? Best of 5 cornhole game.
I got a feeling that John Schaefer is surprisingly good at that.
I led 2 games to none. I was cleaning up.
Did we hit a live bet on Alan Sleewa to come
back? At
back?
that point, he's like plus 1,600.
Yeah, plus 1,600 liver on the cornhole.
I was questionable too because of the hamstring strain.
That's right.
I told you about that. I was technically 1 to 2 weeks out, and so a lot of people didn't think.
Go.
But what I figured I was going to put more pressure on my right leg than my left leg because the left leg is where the injury is at.
The plant leg.
And
are you a lunger when you throw the cornhole?
No, I got to be honest. It was more. John, I want to give myself credit, but I almost feel like I feel like you almost lost the game more than I won the game.
Oh, don't say that. Don't no. I'm like Wemby.
So
I'm not
Alan
talking.
won.
I'm not going to talk with the media.
John, listen.
John's not talking to the media right now, Alan.
Yes or no on this?
I'm listening.
You became a little wild at the end there.
I did because the pressure.
got a little risky.
I blew a 2 games to none lead. It's game 5. How am I supposed to feel? It's embarrassing.
Wait, so how bad did you lose the last couple games?
Oh, it was good. It was overtime. It was overtime.
It was an overtime game. I lost.
But here's what I was doing. I was just simple. Let me just grab a base hit and call it a day.
Yeah, he was singles hitter. Get it on the board.
John was
playing for the 3-run
John
home
was
run.
going for the 3-run home run.
John's
There's
going
only
for the
one
bullseye
guy
on the dartboard.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
I like
it's a fun game.
Listen,
that should be tradition.
We should get that in studio. I like that.
Studio. Okay.
Can you?
Not a terrible idea.
Not a terrible idea.
Yeah.
What is the best?
Are we gonna get no arc?
Right. What is the best bar game? My favorite is I love shuffleboard.
Okay.
I'm a big shuffleboard guy. A couple drinks, you salt the thing, got to knock it off. Like I'm not a very good cornhole player.
But you like shuffleboard?
I love
shuffleboard. Is like poor man's curling.
Yes.
Is that what it is?
It's like bar and peanuts curling.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Alan's got to love that because he's Mr. Peanut.
Right. Probably beer pong was the that was my favorite, back in the day.
Right.
It's funny how beer pong is
jumpers. It's jumpers, You
ever played that game?
Jumpers
that game die, that drinking game?
No.
By the way, I think you're talking to 2 guys that probably haven't played a drinking game since I think it was 77. I think was the last drinking game I played.
No. Is it new? What can you do that's new?
That's what. See,
People have been drinking for 1,000 years.
I like beer pong. It's this game where you throw dice. You cut this like cardboard, throw it way up in the air. Have to get it to land on the other person's side of the table. And like, let's say John and I are a team and Brent and Alan are a team. If Alan throws it, lands on our side of the table, once it comes off the table, we have to catch it before it hits the ground.
I've seen that.
What's the purpose of all this? Why not just drink beer? Why not get around a television and just drink?
That is,
and like watch
to
the
be on a
Thunder and the
t-shirt.
Spurs.
I am 100% with you.
You're not wrong about that. You're not wrong about it. But it just adds a little element,
Older people just drink.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's no 54-year-olds that are like, let's break out all the gear to drink. You just
past
drink.
30, it's like let's
just
stop
give me
playing any of the drinking games. Yeah.
What's on the show today?
We got a couple drinking games that we're actually going to be playing.
Can I join?
Honestly, if this score holds, we might be drinking on
I know.
Kevin Acey will join us at 5:30. Caleb Davis, San Diego State football GM, the Aztec TV Times Network. Those are out. Yeah, he's going to join us.
Listen for all that.
I'll be back
tomorrow at 12. Keep on listening to these boys on the other side. See everybody tomorrow.